in the glittering world of the gold rush, where fortunes are won and lost in the blink of an eye. The drama often extends far beyond the shimmering surface of the precious metal. Amidst the rugged landscapes and relentless pursuit of wealth, a tale of betrayal, heartbreak, and scandal unfolds. Rick Ness, a familiar name in the world of gold prospecting, finds himself caught up in a saga involving his former fiancée Lise and the mysterious figure of Morgan Lauren. As the dust settles and secrets are revealed, the true cost of chasing gold reveals itself, proving that in this unforgiving frontier, the most valuable treasures may not always be found in the ground. Season 14, released in 2023, marked the return of the beloved character Rick Ness, who is a fan favorite. This time, Ness is back with his own crew, which includes the talented newcomer, Morgan Lauren. Morgan, as a member of Ness's crew, operates equipment and handles gold washing duties on the show. She excitedly shares the nerve-wracking nature of her role, given Rick's reliance on her expertise. Having grown up in Alaska, where hunting and fishing were second nature, Morgan brings a unique perspective and skill set to the team. She is friendly and has great interactions with the other crew members, making her stay at the mine an interesting one. Morgan discovered her true passion in gold mining, leaving behind a decade-long career as an oil field equipment operator in Palmer, Alaska. Bravely taking the leap, she relocated to the Yukon to pursue her newfound calling. Morgan's unwavering dedication to her craft shines brightly as she eagerly embraces her new role, bringing her skills and enthusiasm to the Ness claim featured on the show. Throughout the series, Morgan openly shares her aspirations, revealing her dream of one day owning her own mining claim. This goal is fueled by her profound love for gold washing and her comprehensive understanding of the necessary steps involved in the process. Certainly, Morgan is an active presence on Instagram, boasting a follower count of over 50K. In her Instagram bio, she describes herself as a full-time rocker and part-time adventurer, reflecting her adventurous spirit and passion for her work in the gold mining industry. She posts pictures of herself working at the mine and enjoying the beautiful scenery. This has earned her a good reputation, as many Gold Rush fans like her pictures and support her new hustle. Her profile is adorned with numerous snapshots capturing her moments in nature, showcasing her deep love for the outdoors. There's a delightful friendship evident between Morgan and her claim boss Rick, as she even shared a photo of the two of them before her reality TV debut, playfully captioning it, "Let me tell you about my best friend." The news of Rick Ness's team welcoming a new member, Morgan Lauren, in Gold Rush Season 14 has ignited a wave of excitement and anticipation among the show's dedicated audience. Fans are buzzing with curiosity and enthusiasm as they eagerly await Morgan's appearance on the screen. Morgan Lauren is attractive, and her excitement makes fans speculate that she is perfect for Rick. Social media platforms are abuzz with discussions and speculations, reflecting the audience's anticipation for the upcoming season, and their overwhelming support for Morgan. As she embarks on this challenging and adventurous journey alongside Rick Ness and the crew, the audience's collective excitement is palpable, making the wait for the new season of Gold Rush even more thrilling. While she is not the first female to be taken in by Rick Ness, she has to be very cautious due to what had happened earlier. In Season 12, Rick Ness welcomed a new female member to his crew, marking the arrival of rookies like Leah Turnbull. Leah left a lasting impression right from her debut, albeit not in the way she had hoped. She had accidentally crashed an expensive truck into a silt pond. Despite the rocky start, her unforgettable entrance into the team has firmly planted her in the thoughts of Discovery viewers, making her a topic of conversation among the show's audience. Hopefully, Morgan will not follow in Leah Turnbull's accidental footsteps. Season 14 brought on excitement, and not for the gold mine. It reached new heights when it became clear that Rick had formed a romantic relationship with a new member of his crew. This development sparked even more interest among fans, who couldn't help but notice the undeniable chemistry between Rick and Morgan Lauren in recent episodes. As they witnessed the two working closely together, suspicion grew. Was there something beyond just a professional connection between Rick and Morgan? The unfolding storyline had fans buzzing with anticipation, eager to see where this newfound dynamic would lead. Morgan has seamlessly integrated into Rick's crew, shouldering challenging tasks such as operating heavy equipment and meticulously washing gold amidst the pressures of the gold mining operation. Despite the daunting nature of her responsibilities, Morgan appears to derive a sense of resilience and determination, perhaps fueled by her growing connection with Rick. His unwavering reliance on her skills serves as a testament to their strong partnership, evident in their shared moments both within the confines of their work and in their personal interactions. Their union has not gone unnoticed, as fans of the show have observed intimate moments between them both on camera and behind the scenes, sparking speculation about the true nature of their relationship. This speculation only intensifies with Morgan's activity on social media platforms, particularly on her Instagram page, where she frequently shares glimpses into her life. Among these posts are images that hint at a profound closeness with Rick, further fueling the rumors and leaving viewers eager to uncover the truth behind their dynamic. In a certain snapshot, Rick is seen carrying Morgan, their smiles reflecting a warmth and friendship that seem genuine and unscripted. Another photograph captures them standing side by side, their closeness visible against the backdrop of what appears to be a serene and intimate setting. These moments, frozen in time, have left fans of the show buzzing with curiosity about the true nature of their relationship. As fans search through Morgan Lauren's social media profiles, a pattern emerges. She appears to be unattached, seemingly single, and open to new relationships. This observation ignites speculation among followers, who eagerly entertain the possibility of a romantic entanglement between Morgan and Rick Ness, the charismatic leader of the crew. With each post, each glimpse into their interactions, the intrigue deepens, leaving fans on the edge of their seats, eagerly awaiting the next chapter in this unfolding narrative of love and adventure amidst the backdrop of the gold rush. While Morgan has chosen not to publicly confirm her relationship status, her close bond with Rick has undoubtedly piqued the interest of gold rush enthusiasts. Similarly, Rick has neither confirmed nor corrected any speculation regarding his relationship with Morgan. As viewers observe the dynamics between Rick and Morgan, some may recall the introduction of Carla and Charlton to the Gold Rush audience back in 2018. Rick Ness's involvement with his crew members is not something that has just started. Rick is a dashing and attractive man, so he is bound to have flirtations with the young women who work for him. It might seem unprofessional, but Gold Rush fans are always anticipating the drama that comes with the mining. Carla has been a consistent presence, appearing in 52 episodes since her debut as a valued member of Rick Ness's team. Carla is an indispensable member of Rick Ness's team, wielding her expertise as a gold room operator and survival expert with excellence. Viewers were last treated to her presence in the season 11 finale, where her interactions with Rick didn't escape the watchful eyes of dedicated fans. Amidst the hustle and bustle of the gold mining operation, subtle exchanged glances, heartfelt hugs, and genuine smiles between Carla and Rick didn't go unnoticed. These moments ignited rumors and speculation about a potential romantic relationship brewing between the two, sending fans into a frenzy of curiosity. As usual, the fans were ready to exploit the companionship between the two and hoped that something more was happening. For some, this was a good thing, while others simply wanted to watch the miners work. The speculation reached such heights that Rick found himself addressing it directly on Twitter, responding to inquiries about their relationship status. Cases where bosses have flirtations with their employees are kind of frowned upon, and this time was no different. Despite his attempts to clarify, the speculation continued, fueled by the undeniable chemistry witnessed on screen. Fans, caught up in the drama and romance of it all, even humorously suggested that Rick should employ his gold mining skills to craft an engagement ring for Carla, highlighting the extent to which their imagined romance had captured the imagination of viewers. Imagine how beautiful of a wedding that would be. However, Rick made it clear from the beginning that his relationship with Carla was purely platonic, emphasizing that their bond is similar to that of siblings rather than romantic partners. Despite the fervent hopes of some fans, there exists no romantic entanglement between the two co-stars. Instead, their connection is rooted in a deep and abiding friendship. Rick's most recent romantic involvement was with Lise, a fellow co-worker on the show. Their relationship, however, has been characterized by tumultuous highs and lows. Rick and his former fiancée, Lise, navigated through a roller coaster of emotions, enduring multiple separations and reconciliations. When a beloved Gold Rush boss like Rick Ness finds himself caught in such a rocky relationship, the fans talk. It was therefore expected that fans would choose someone else for Rick to partner with. Rick's relationship with Lise took a very serious turn, as he showed that he was ready to cuff her. At one point, Rick proposed to her, a moment that Lee Marie shared online, capturing the excitement with a photo of the engagement ring while she was still inside the jewelry store, symbolizing their journey of love and commitment amidst the challenges of their public personas. However, a few months later, Lise revealed that Rick had been unfaithful to her, which ultimately led to their breakup. Surprisingly, despite the betrayal, they found themselves back together during the holiday season, although their engagement was officially off. It was Lee Marie who shared the news with fans that Rick intended to return to Gold Rush for the upcoming season. Sadly, their reconciliation was short-lived, as the two later broke up again. Rick Ness is no exception to the recent series of drama events that have unfolded, involving him, his ex-fiancée Lise, and crew member Morgan Lauren. Just 3 weeks ago, Rick announced to the world that he was back with Lise. However, the celebration was short-lived. Just days after Valentine's Day, Lise took to Instagram to announce their breakup, accompanied by shocking accusations. Amidst the chaos, a new character emerged, Morgan Lauren, a new member of Rick Ness's crew in Season 14. Rumors circulated that Morgan and Rick might have been romantically involved, adding another layer of intrigue to the unfolding drama. The story took an unexpected turn when Lise publicly criticized Morgan Lauren on her Instagram account. Lise expressed her frustration, claiming that Morgan had been spreading negativity about her through texts and social media. Lisa's post included screenshots of the alleged conversations, painting Morgan as a clout-chasing troublemaker. In response to Lisa's post, Rick Ness entered the scene by leaving a comment defending himself and addressing the accusations. Rick emphasized that Morgan Lauren had no personal knowledge or first-hand experience of the situation, accusing her of spreading rumors based on speculation, biases, and jealousy. Rick expressed disappointment that Morgan had overstepped boundaries, creating unnecessary drama. However, Morgan later deleted Rick's comment and proceeded to block him on social media. This decision by Morgan only intensified the already heated conflict, further exacerbating tensions between the parties involved. Rick, in response, emphasized that Morgan had neglected a fundamental agreement aimed at preventing such problems from arising. As the complex and dramatic narrative surrounding Rick Ness, his former fiancée Lise, and crew member Morgan Lauren continues to unfold, it becomes increasingly evident that this recent episode is not an isolated incident. Previously, rumors had circulated regarding a potential romantic entanglement between Rick and Morgan, prompting Rick to address the speculation directly via social media platforms. This proactive approach aimed to clarify any misconceptions and dispel unfounded rumors, underlining the importance of transparency and communication in navigating the challenges of their shared professional and personal spheres. Addressing Gold Rush fans on platforms like Reddit, Rick vehemently denied any romantic entanglement with Morgan, asserting that their relationship is strictly platonic and professional. Morgan Lauren, the newest addition to the crew in the latest season of Gold Rush, has proven her worth in the field, handling crucial tasks as the equipment operator and gold washer. While the work aspect of their collaboration appears successful, the off-screen dynamics remain shrouded in speculation and controversy. It is essential to acknowledge that our perspective is limited to one side of the story, and passing judgment on who is right or wrong is premature. Hopefully, as time progresses, Rick Ness, Lise, and Morgan Lauren can find common ground and reconcile their differences. Their collective contributions have undoubtedly made Gold Rush an engaging and beloved reality show, and fans hope to see them continue shaping the narrative for many more seasons to come. Additionally, the unfolding drama suggests that Morgan may not continue as part of Rick Ness's crew in the upcoming season. When questioned about her potential return next year, Morgan responded with uncertainty about the plan for coming back to the show, but asserted her intention to explore options one way or another. The love triangle involving Rick Ness, Lee Marie, and crew member Morgan Lauren has taken unexpected turns, with accusations, public confrontations, and social media drama adding layers of complexity to their intertwined relationships. As fans eagerly await the resolution of this gripping storyline, it becomes clear that the reality TV world can be just as tumultuous behind the scenes as it appears on screen. The drama surrounding Rick Ness's personal life has reached a new level, leaving viewers intrigued and eager to see how it will unfold in the upcoming episodes and beyond. In the end, as the sun sets on this chapter of the Gold Rush saga, the echoes of Rick Ness and Lisa's revelations linger in the air, serving as a warning tale for those captivated by the allure of gold and fortune. Through their shared journey of heartache and betrayal, they've peeled back the layers of ambition and deceit that often accompany the pursuit of riches, shedding light on the complexities of human nature in the face of untold wealth. In the world of the gold rush, where dreams are made and challenges are faced, the most valuable things are often the strong connections of loyalty, honesty, and strength that people build during tough times. Thank you for watching. See you in the next video. In the glittering world of gold mining, where fortunes are dug from the heart of the earth, one name stands out: Rick Ness. Known for his uncanny ability to strike gold, Rick has etched his legacy in the Klondike's history. But hold on. This time, Rick's journey takes an unexpected turn. He faces a pivotal moment that could reshape his mining future. What life-altering decision has Rick made, and how will it steer the course of his gold-hunting saga? There's more. Brace yourselves for the arrival of an inspiring figure, ready to lend a helping hand in Rick's most challenging hour. Who is this mystery person, and how will they impact Rick's quest for gold? Join us to delve into a mining adventure like never before that will lead to Rick's biggest gold haul ever. Success isn't just about luck, it's about rolling up your sleeves and putting in the hard work. That's something that the indomitable Rick Ness believes in. Now, he finds himself facing a daunting challenge. A gold production goal that seems to be slipping through his fingers. Despite the hefty investments in top-tier equipment, Rick is dealing with machinery issues. Different hurdles are emerging, putting a wrench in the gears of progress, but the twists and turns in this mining saga don't end there. On top of all that, Rick is at a crossroads, facing a crucial decision about the ownership of the land. But the heart of the challenge lies in the earth itself. The act of digging and extracting precious gold from the depths becomes a battle against time and nature. It's a struggle that Rick faces head-on, with determination etched on his face. In the vast expanse of the mining frontier, Rick Ness is facing a pivotal moment in his gold-hunting journey. Having staked his entire season on a daring move, a deep cut that promised a potential $5 million in gold, the reality is not living up to the glittering dream. The 190-foot deep cut, the bold gamble that could lead to a substantial payday, is yet to yield the expected results. The goal is 2,000 ounces of gold, but this weight of the goal hangs heavy on Ness's shoulders, not just for the sake of his crew, but for his own survival in the unforgiving world of gold mining. A world into which Rick has poured his heart, soul, and a considerable amount of resources, expecting a gold rush that would make headlines. However, the reality is a bit different. The very ground he walks on holds the key to his mining empire's destiny. However, the landowner has different plans for Rick. Troy Taylor, who is the owner of Duncan Creek, the claim on which Rick is working under the lease, pays an unexpected visit to Rick, who is already under stress for not meeting the gold production goal. Cutting right to the chase, Rick questions the purpose behind Taylor's unanticipated visit, and Taylor, without beating around the bush, dives straight into the heart of the matter. His revelation hangs in the air, laden with potential implications. He wants to sell the Duncan Creek. Rick is now confronted with a significant personal decision. The prospect of owning his own ground looms large, and the gravity of this choice could reshape the entire trajectory of his mining journey. Imagine the dilemma. On one side, the security of owning the land beneath which potential fortunes lie, and on the other, the challenge of meeting the production goals with the clock ticking. It's a decision that could either propel Rick into a new era of mining success or add another layer of complexity to his already intricate venture. But that's not the interesting part. Taylor, with a matter-of-fact demeanor, reveals the terms. $250,000 as a down payment, equivalent to 150 ounces of gold. Now that's how you make a deal with the gold diggers. Surprised by the unexpected proposition, Rick finds himself deep in thought. The idea of owning the very land he's been working on is both appealing and overwhelming. Unsure about taking such a significant step, Rick acknowledges that he is not sure if he can take such a massive step at this already challenging moment. The financial commitment attached to this decision plays on his mind, creating a whirlwind of considerations. As the discussion unfolds, Rick wrestles with the weight of this unforeseen opportunity. The offer of $250,000 or 150 ounces of gold is undeniably substantial. Troy Taylor, after presenting the terms, leaves Rick to contemplate the magnitude of the decision. The gravity of the situation hangs in the air, and Rick is left to grapple with the potential impact on his gold mining journey. The allure of ownership clashes with the daunting prospect of financial responsibility, setting the stage for a pivotal moment in Rick Ness's mining saga. How will the mind boss navigate this unexpected twist in the tale? Will he seize the opportunity, or will the weight of the decision prove too much? The stakes are high, The pressure is on, and the future of Duncan Creek claims hangs in the balance, but it's the mine boss we're talking about. And to make the decision, he has to tackle the other obstacles first. Every miner knows that a glitch in the machinery can translate to lost time and, more importantly, lost gold. Despite heavy investments and state-of-the-art machinery worth millions, the results are not quite hitting the mark. It's a tough spot to be in, especially when your aspirations are as grand as Rick's. The machinery, boasting cutting-edge technology, stands as a testament to Rick's commitment. But, as every seasoned miner knows, the gold beneath the ground doesn't always give in easily. Rick is stuck dealing with a big problem, and he can't tackle it solo. He's in need of help, but the question is, who can he turn to? The first person who crosses Rick's mind in this crucial moment is none other than his reliable dad. With winter approaching, he calls his father for assistance, hoping to bring in the energy needed to finish the season strong. Rick's dad shows up and is pretty amazed by the whole mining setup. He's all in to help out however he can. The two of them now tackle the problem together, dealing with the challenges of mining and figuring out a way forward. The first problem he deals with is the wash plant. With Monster Red running on a tight crew, Rick faces a tough time finding more workers. His dad jumps in to lend a hand and keep things going smoothly. Seeing the mining operation scale, Rick's dad figures he can help out. Without any hesitation, he gets down to work, doing everything needed to keep Monster Red up and running. At Duncan Creek, Rick encounters a hurdle with his 700 excavator. A cracked hydraulic line threatens to slow down the crucial task of clearing tailings. It's a setback that demands immediate attention. Rick, with a determined look on his face, asks his dad to help there too. Rick's dad, not a stranger to hard work, steps into the role of a makeshift mechanic. With tools in hand, they inspect the excavator, and the problem becomes clear: a cracked hydraulic line. It's a hands-on challenge, but Rick's dad isn't one to back down. They work together, making the welding process seem like a puzzle they are determined to solve. After a series of intense efforts, welding, and a bit of elbow grease, the hydraulic issue is fixed. The 700 excavator roars back to life, ready to dig into the tailings and keep the gold production on track. It's a testament to the resilience of the team and their ability to handle unexpected setbacks. With the excavator back in action, the crew dives back into their work, ensuring that every bucket of pay dirt contributes to their season's ambitious gold goal. Whether it's fixing up equipment or helping out in the wash plant, Rick's dad becomes a key part of the team. His experience and hands-on approach bring a new burst of energy, making sure every part of the mining process works like a well-oiled machine. The teamwork between father and son turns challenges into victories. Together, they tackle the ups and downs of mining life, using their combined knowledge to handle whatever comes their way. As Monster Red chews through the pay dirt, it's not just the machines doing the heavy lifting. It's the power of a united team working towards those big gold goals. Despite the challenges, including equipment breakdowns and a flooded cut, the team is determined to reach the season's gold target of 2,000 ounces. The camaraderie between Rick and his dad becomes evident as they tackle repairs together. From fixing machinery issues to maintaining equipment, it's a hands-on collaboration that highlights the importance of a reliable support system. Rick's dad, a testament to the saying, "Actions speak louder than words," embodies the spirit of a true partner in this challenging gold mining journey. Even with the valuable assistance from his dad, Rick finds himself caught in a web of challenges that extend beyond the immediate repairs. In the pursuit of the elusive gold goal and land ownership, Rick must not only contend with mechanical hurdles but also navigate the intricate dynamics of the gold mining world. Each step forward requires a careful calculation, a strategic move, and a relentless determination to overcome whatever obstacles lay in his path. The journey is far from over, and the suspense continues to build as Rick strives to turn his mining dream into a golden reality. And to achieve his dream, he has to beat the cold. As winter's chill creeps in, Rick Ness finds himself standing at the crossroads of a critical decision: how to increase gold production before the icy grip of winter puts a freeze on their operations. Feeling the weight of the looming goal and the pressure to deliver, Rick huddles with his crew, including Kyle Lawson, a newcomer to the gold mining scene with an ironworking background. What steps can Rick take to boost production before the ground freezes and winter poses a threat to his gold mining goals? So, in a bold move, Rick proposes a plan that could potentially change the game. He suggests the simultaneous operation of both wash plants, Monster Red and the trusty Rocky. It's a strategy that, if executed flawlessly, could significantly elevate their gold output. Kyle Lawson, despite being relatively new to the gold mining arena, is entrusted with the responsibility of operating one of the wash plants solo. Can Rick's trusted crew member, Kyle Lawson, uphold the trust placed in him and assist Rick in achieving his dream gold haul? Well, the announcement hung in the air and the crew sensed the gravity of the situation, and Kyle, with a mix of nerves and determination, accepted the challenge. Operating a wash plant alone can be quite overwhelming, especially for someone still getting the hang of things. The potential challenges, especially the threat of tailings causing blockages, are significant concerns. Duncan Creek is ready for a high-stakes operation. With determination etched on his face, Kyle makes his way to the wash plant. The rhythmic hum of the machinery echoes through the mining site as Kyle navigates through the controls, juggling the intricate dance of equipment and pay dirt. The crew watches with bated breath, unsure of what the outcome will be. Despite the initial nervousness, Kyle begins to find his rhythm. The wash plant responds to his commands, and the pay dirt starts flowing smoothly. The potential catastrophe of tailings causing a shutdown becomes a distant worry as Kyle defies the odds and keeps the operation running like a well-oiled machine. Another problem solved, and now just one to go, till Rick smoothens his journey towards his goal. Rick Ness is facing another tough challenge that could make or break his entire season. The crew has been digging for 10 weeks, and finally, they hit the good pay layer they've been aiming for. But there's a major setback. The whole area is flooded with 6 feet of water. To tackle this problem, Rick decides to bring in a robust 10-inch pump, generously provided by the landowner, Troy Taylor. The team gets to work, setting up the pump with hopes that it can handle the large volume of water in the cut. Success with the pump is crucial because it's the key to drying out the area, enabling them to get to the valuable pay dirt below. Despite facing obstacles, including the hefty $40,000 cost of the pump, Rick stays positive and determined. The moment arrives as the pump kicks into action, proving its worth against the waterlogged conditions. With the flooded area slowly drying up, the crew can finally focus on what they came for, extracting the long-awaited, valuable pay dirt that could turn their luck around. As the week unfolds, the results exceed expectations. The gold weight from Monster Red and Rocky combined paints a picture of success. The decision to entrust Kyle with a crucial role pays off. Rick's strategies and his dad's love prove that sometimes the boldest moves and the company of the loved ones lead to the greatest victories. After the challenges, the narrative takes an unexpected turn, injecting a dose of triumph into the mining saga. The crew, once faced with uncertainty, now stands united, motivated by the success of a well-executed plan because they are about to achieve the unexpected. So, here they have it. A whopping 219.8 ounces out of Monster Red and an additional 95 ounces from Rocky. Time for drumroll, because the grand total stands at an impressive 315 ounces, translating to over $500,000. You heard it right, folks. This is not just another gold weigh-in. It's a record breaker. The excitement can be seen as Rick and the crew revel in the victory. This achievement marks their biggest gold haul ever, a remarkable feat that's sure to go down in mining history. The mining site buzzes with newfound energy, and Rick's gamble seems to be steering them in the right direction. This success is not just a number on the scale. It's a testament to their resilience, determination, and the unwavering spirit of the team. But there is still one thing to do. The taste of success lingers in the crisp Klondike air as Rick heads to meet with none other than Troy Taylor. In a moment of revelation, Rick unveils his decision. The words hang in the air as Troy Taylor's eyes light up, mirroring the excitement of sealing the deal. Rick declares that he is ready to buy, making it clear that he's ready to take the plunge and make a substantial commitment. Despite recent challenges, the crew comes together to celebrate their hard-earned success. Cheers echo through Rally Valley, a testament to their resilience in the face of adversity. The journey is far from over, and Rick Ness is unwavering in his quest for the hidden treasure beneath the Klondike soil. Can Rally Valley yield the massive gold discovery that could change Rick's mining destiny? The adventure presses on, with each ounce of gold bringing them closer to their ultimate goal and every challenge strengthening the crew's determination. The Rally Valley saga unfolds, and only time will reveal the true extent of the gold-rich bounty waiting to be unearthed. If you have watched Gold Rush on the Discovery Channel, the name Rick Ness does not sound new to you. He is one of the series' primary cast members, having appeared since Season 3. The cast earns a substantial compensation per episode, and you're probably curious about Rick Ness's net worth in 2024. So how rich is Rick Ness? From daring gold mining exploits to industrial highs and lows, join us on this intriguing journey into the wealth and adventures of the man himself, Rick Ness. Rick Ness, a major protagonist in the Gold Rush saga, is more than just a miner. He's a tenacious explorer with a desire to pursue dreams beneath the Earth's surface. Rick, known for his unyielding determination, rose to prominence after taking over as mine supervisor. His journey has been a roller coaster of triumphs, losses, and golden moments. Beyond the gold-laden landscapes, Rick Ness emerges as a man worth investigating, both for his mining prowess and the irrepressible spirit that drives his pursuit of riches. Rick joined the cast of Gold Rush in Season 3 and instantly became a fan favorite due to his hard work and dedication. In addition to his compensation from the show, Rick has worked as a gold mine operator. He previously had a successful singing career and has pursued business projects and investments, all of which have contributed to his financial success. Rick Ness, who was born in Michigan on March 5, 1981, had a diverse background before earning a name for himself in gold mining. Growing up, he learned the ropes by working for his father's construction company, where he gained valuable mechanical skills. Rick intended to pursue a football career after high school, but a head injury changed his plans. He then traveled to Milwaukee to explore the music scene. Rick joined the 357 string band as a bassist and toured the world, exhibiting his musical abilities. During this time, he met Parker Schnabel, which would have a significant impact on his future in gold mining. Rick's early life and career highlights his versatility as he moved from construction to music and then gold mine. His different experiences provided him with talents that proved useful in his subsequent endeavors. The sudden transition from football to music not only demonstrated his perseverance, but also resulted in a fateful meeting with Parker Schnabel, which altered the course of his professional career. So, what contributed to his prominence? Rick Ness's adventure on Gold Rush began in Season 3, when he started as an operator on the rock truck and excavator. Parker Schnabel was impressed by his hard work ethic and commitment to the task, and he promoted him to foreman. Rick, as foreman, was responsible for overseeing the Indian River operation. His leadership abilities and broad understanding of the gold mining sector were clear, gaining him respect from both his peers and the show's audience. Despite his triumphs, Rick suffered a setback in his Gold Rush career when he made a costly mistake that resulted in a $50,000 income loss for Parker. However, Rick's drive to make atonement shined through. In Season 9, he made a brave decision to start his own mining crew. This choice constituted a watershed moment for Rick, putting him on track to break show records. With his freshly created staff, he enjoyed extraordinary success, exceeding expectations, and even setting a new record for the most gold mined by a mine leader in his first year. Rick Ness's climb to notoriety demonstrates his tenacity, determination, and flexibility in the face of challenges. The voyage demonstrates not just his professional development in the mining business, but also his ability to learn from mistakes and turn them into opportunities for success. Rick Ness has made an unmistakable impact on Gold Rush, not only as a good miner, but also as a leader capable of navigating the unpredictable world of gold mining. His narrative serves as an inspiration, demonstrating that even in the harsh environment of the mining sector, perseverance and a willingness to take risks may lead to extraordinary results. Rick Ness's career demonstrates the importance of embracing change and grabbing unexpected possibilities, which ultimately contributed to his success in the gold mining sector. Now let's look at the rise of Rick Ness's mining crew. Rick Ness's foray into gold mining was a watershed moment in his life. When he made the courageous decision to start his own mining company, he handpicked a team of talented miners who shared his unshakable desire to strike gold. Their voyage was not easy. They endured several challenges and failures, but their combined commitment remained unwavering. Rick's leadership abilities were evident as he guided his group through the hurdles of mining operations. His knowledge not only guided them, but also contributed to significant gold production, quickly establishing them as a force to be reckoned with in the mining industry. The rewards of their labor were not overlooked. The mining world and viewers of the popular show Gold Rush began to acknowledge Rick and his crew's outstanding accomplishments. This newfound success not only solidified Rick's position in the gold mining sector, but also opened the door to intriguing future prospects and collaborations. The emergence of Rick Ness's mining crew demonstrates endurance and determination in the unpredictable world of gold mining. The challenges described in Gold Rush demonstrate the tenacity required to traverse this difficult industry successfully. Rick's presence on the show and the rise of his mining crew have cemented his status as a notable figure, eliciting respect from viewers anxious for the next chapter in his adventure. Rick and his crew continue to make their mark, and the future appears hopeful. The suspense among fans is intense, eager to see what happens next for Rick Ness and his loyal miners. The story of Rick's ascension in the gold mining business is more than just finding gold. It is a story of overcoming hurdles, resilience, and the enduring spirit that defines mining success. Let's have a look at his net worth and earnings breakdown. Rick Ness, a well-known figure in the Gold Rush series, has made a sizable fortune from his participation in the reality TV show and his gold mining ventures. His net worth, estimated at $3 million as of 2023, is the product of a variety of revenue streams, the majority of which stem from his involvement on Gold Rush. Rick Ness's revenues from the reality TV show have been a significant boost to his financial success. Rick, a prominent part of the cast, reportedly earns $25,000 per episode. This big figure emphasizes his importance to the show and the value he provides to the viewers. Rick's hard work, devotion, and gold mining experience most certainly helped him negotiate such a profitable agreement. Rick Ness's path to financial success is uncommon, given his previous job as a singer before moving into gold mining. This change demonstrates his adaptability and determination to explore new fields. The show Gold Rush gave him a platform to demonstrate his abilities, and it looks to have paid off handsomely. In addition to his television revenues, Rick Ness is involved in gold mining operations, which adds another source of money. Gold mining can be a profitable business, and Rick's knowledge of the industry helps him succeed on the show as well as in his other businesses. His estimated net worth is based on a combination of his television earnings and mining operations. It's worth noting that while the published figures provide a look into Rick Ness's financial landscape, the real breakdown of his profits may include additional factors such as endorsements, business collaborations, or investments. Nonetheless, Rick Ness's journey from musician to significant person in the gold mining sector, as depicted in Gold Rush, shows the various paths someone might take to reach financial success. Rick Ness, well known for his role in Gold Rush, not only makes a living from the show, but also runs a profitable gold mining venture. This entrepreneurial venture draws on his significant industry knowledge, allowing him to apply his expertise. Managing his own mining crew has proven useful in increasing profits and diversifying his financial portfolio. Rick's net worth is roughly 60% derived from his income on Gold Rush. The show has been a substantial contributor to his entire financial situation. Aside from television, Rick's gold mining businesses make a substantial contribution, accounting for around 40% of his wealth. This diversification strategy has strengthened his economic position, providing a solid platform for long-term prosperity. The television landscape has likely influenced Rick's financial trajectory. His involvement in Gold Rush not only gives a stable income, but also allows him to demonstrate his mining prowess. This visibility not only attracts viewers, but it also opens up prospects for partnerships and endorsements, which increase his revenues. On the other hand, Rick's employment as a gold mine operator adds a dynamic element to his wealth portfolio. Managing a mining crew includes negotiating the industry's complexity, which include logistical obstacles and market changes. This hands-on approach not only increases his revenues, but also improves his entrepreneurial abilities, establishing him as a versatile player in the gold market. It's worth noting that Rick's multiple revenue streams constitute a symbiotic relationship, with each complementing the other. His appearance in Gold Rush not only increases the show's popularity, but also draws attention to his mining operations. Conversely, the profitability and exposure of his mining venture increase the popularity of Gold Rush, resulting in a mutually beneficial financial ecology. He has effectively diversified his revenue streams, with Gold Rush accounting for a sizable percentage of his wealth, supplemented by his successful gold mining businesses. This methodical strategy has not only strengthened his financial foundation, but also established him as a prominent figure in both the entertainment and mining industries. What about his personal life and relationships? Rick Ness's relationship with Lisa Marie has brought him happiness. The duo has been together since 2020 and recently announced their engagement for October 2022. Rick proposed to Lisa Marie on her birthday, creating a beautiful and memorable experience for both of them. While their relationship was not featured in Season 13 of Gold Rush, fans are excited to watch Rick's personal life develop as he continues his mining escapades. Rick Ness and Lise Marie have shared details about their lives together on social media, offering followers an insight into their loving and supportive relationship. Despite the hardships of their various occupations, they have managed to form a strong friendship and lay a solid basis for their future together. As Rick Ness works through his personal troubles, fans may anticipate him to return to Gold Rush and resume his career in gold mining. His personal life and connections will surely influence his future experiences and decisions. What about his early career and music success, you ask? Prior to his gold mining profession, Rick Ness was successful in the music industry. After abandoning his hopes of playing professional football due to a brain injury, Ness joined the 357 String Band as a bassist. The band, noted for their lively and distinct blend of bluegrass and punk music, published 3 albums that displayed Rick's musical abilities and gained a devoted fan base. During their time together, the 357 String Band went on a world tour, performing in a variety of countries and captivating audiences with their exciting live performances. The band's CDs received critical acclaim, and its authentic sound appealed with music enthusiasts across genres. Rick Ness polished his musical abilities and acquired a strong desire to perform during his early career. His experiences in the music industry paved the way for his future undertakings and contributed to his total professional success. Rick Ness's early career in the music industry showcased his artistic abilities and ability to connect with fans through his music. Although he has recently shifted into gold mining, his passion for music is still a defining feature of his life and serves as a testament to his versatility as a professional. We can now take a closer look at Rick Ness's versatility in professional roles. Rick Ness is a gifted guy who has thrived in a variety of professional roles throughout his career. His abilities extend beyond gold mining to songwriting, singing, finance, business development, and sales. This wide range of experiences has helped him succeed in both the entertainment industry and economic operations. Rick Ness has proved his lyrical originality and ability to produce meaningful lyrics. His gift for storytelling through music is evident in his work, and it has earned him respect in the music industry. In addition to songwriting, Rick Ness is noted for his powerful singing voice. His fascinating performances have struck a chord with audiences all across the world, allowing him to connect with them on a more personal level. Aside from his musical accomplishments, Rick Ness has demonstrated expertise in finance, business development, and sales. His ability to grasp financial methods and find profitable company prospects has contributed significantly to his success as an entrepreneur. Rick's knowledge in these areas has allowed him to confidently navigate the commercial world and attain financial security. Rick Ness, best known for his gold mining escapades featured on Gold Rush, sees an exciting future in the sparkling realm of precious metals. His plans go beyond the small screen, as he aims to expand mining activities and venture into new territory. Rick is set to take his gold mining operations to the next level, thanks to his abundance of knowledge and a successful run on the popular TV show. His goal is clear: to uncover unexplored deposits and increase gold production. Rick's unwavering pursuit of success drives him to always push the envelope and explore new chances in the ever-changing gold mining sector. Rick's interest in gold mining stems from the pleasure of discovering buried gems. His dedication to the sector extends beyond everyday operations, and he willingly accepts the challenge of exploring unexplored territory. In doing so, he hopes to strengthen his remarkable track record and establish himself as a strong force in the gold mining industry. However, Rick Ness is not a one-dimensional personality. Along with his commitment to gold mine, he may continue to balance his 2 hobbies by venturing into the realm of music. Rick, a gifted musician, may pursue opportunities to create new songs or collaborate with other musicians. This versatility demonstrates Rick's ability to smoothly manage both the entertainment sector and business ventures, integrating his pursuits with his interests and skills. As Rick Ness plans his route in the gold mining industry, his future holds not only the glitter of precious metals, but also the melodic notes of music. His ambition, work ethic, and entrepreneurial spirit position him for long-term success in gold mining and beyond. Rick is determined to make his mark in a variety of industries, whether by extending his mining operations, exploring new regions, or pursuing his passion for music. If you enjoyed diving into Rick's financial journey, make sure to hit the like button, subscribe for more exclusive insights, and turn on the notification bell to stay updated on our latest deep dives into the lives of your favorite gold rush stars. Until next time, stay gold. At the height of the gold rush, Rick Ness was one of the most successful miners. He lost his mind when a rookie mechanic fixed his $1 million excavator. A little boy did fix his $1 million machine. We will look at the details and ups and downs of Rick Ness's mining operations in this video. We will see how the seasons changed, how technology broke down, and how driven Ness was to find rare gold. Come with us as we look at the exciting shows, with a focus on how Rick Ness's never-ending search for wealth in the hard desert changes, succeeds, and fails. In his never-ending search for money, Rick finds himself traveling into uncharted territory because he thinks he has found his most important goal yet. His huge machine for moving dirt is gone, and his team is getting smaller. The odds are against him. When Rick realizes how serious the situation is and posts that a skilled mechanic is needed right away, it's a turning point. Now, a 20-year-old student becomes an important figure because he is asked to show off his skills by building the complex, multi-million-dollar 750 backhoe. The apprentice carefully attaches the bucket and 750 book stick, showing how complicated the job is. They were moved safely by a movable base set to a small gauge. The thought of having to deal with Duncan Creek's various terrain adds another level of difficulty. Torsten, the apprentice, changes the tracks expertly by slowly loosening the bolts that hold the chassis in place. He cleverly positions the digger with the help of the boom, showing how creative the team is when things go wrong. The 750's bucket is particularly impressive because it is so big. It's 3 times bigger than the 480's. Time is important for Rick and his team because they work in less than a half week. Their staff is only 4 people, and they don't have a fixed driver. Rick's earlier success, in which he made an average of just over 70 ounces of gold per week, is very different from this situation. The problems that are coming up show how strong, flexible, and determined the team is as they keep going after their huge gold goal. The group is aware that Carl, the gold miner, is not there and stresses how important he is to fixing machine problems. They both hope Carl gets better and are worried about taking care of the equipment's upkeep without a trained tech. Most people agree that Torsten's ability to put together the 750 digger was a turning point that made the mining business a lot better. At this time of year, it's hard for Rick to find a plumber, so he's thankful that Torsten helped him right away. As the team gathers for the weekly gold weigh, Rick talks about the effects of having a smaller staff and the need for a worker to fix problems with the pumps. Even with all of these problems, the crew stays friends, and they raise a glass to the amazing gold crop that only 4 crew members, including the new Torsten, were able to handle. The story shows how flexible, determined, and flexible the crew was in getting past problems so they could reach their gold mining goals. The team is still dealing with the problems of the season. They are looking ahead with a mix of determination and confidence as the successful end of the gold weight has given them hope. And yet, none of these problems affect Rick in any way. In fact, they might even be a good thing. We can see that Brennan has a hard time because he can't find any good land. He doesn't care and takes a wild guess as to where a new cut should be made. Almost magically, the chosen area is cleaned up and fully open in a matter of seconds. When people find possible gold in a test pan, they decide to call the new site the Bacon Strip. During the gold rush, there is a tense moment when the parking brake on a rock truck gets caught on a pile of pay dirt. Even though the rescue is shown with dramatic music and quick cuts, the story makes fun of the fact that, to everyone's surprise, no one dies. The episode ends with a smooth cleanup that yields a respectable 75.92 ounces of gold. But things change in the gold rush game when Rick's team goes through a number of staff changes. Riley is the rock truck driver he gets right away after losing the first one. A slightly inflated story about a rock truck losing a tire shows how the crew reacted to what turned out to be a pretty small problem. The following day takes a surprising turn when Riley, the new driver, suddenly disappears. The crowd gets to see Rick's girlfriend learn how to drive a rock truck after she offers to take over. As a joke, the announcer calls this part of the show the perfect blend of boredom and boredom. Rick finds another 47 ounces of gold just as cleanup time is about to start. This brings his season total to 502 ounces. When Riley comes back the next day, he has a huge scar across his face. And the story continues. He gives an account that includes a fight, a trip to the hospital, and having his phone taken away by the police. Even though things didn't go as planned, Rick is glad to have Riley back with the team. The crew's original happiness and excitement quickly faded when they realized there was a major problem. There was a sudden wave of fear among the team, because that's when they found out there was a crack between the plant and the pre-wash that opened up without warning and let water out, which is very bad for the mining operation. Figuring out why there is warning is easy once the two 9-inch steel pins that were joining them are found to be missing. But even though this is a worrying development, no one seems to care. The crew makes 2 new pins to fix the problem. As the team tries to get past the hurdles, more problems come up because rocks can pass through the holes in the screen deck. In an effort to save the situation, they glue steel plates over the holes. It's too bad that the cleanup only turns up 40.64 ounces of gold. At this point, everyone is upset about how limited their current wash plant is. Strangely, there was no reason for why Rick wasn't using Monster Red, the wash plant he had worked hard to fix up over the off-season. The mining team has to make some tough choices that are getting more and more interesting as time goes on. Now though, Rick seems to have forgotten how much work he put into Monster Red over the winter when Freddie and Juan show up to fix his wash plant. It takes 4 days, but they quickly put in the new punch plates Rick bought, even though they are a bit too thin. Surprisingly, Freddie and Juan are able to solve the problem without any problems at all with a little help from Chris. As Freddie and Juan work on the repair, the story moves smoothly and shows off their skill and knowledge. The lack of excitement in this method is very different from the problems that happen in the gold mine business. After 1 day of work, everything is fixed without any major issues. The team cleans up the campfire and finds 17.27 ounces of gold. When Rick wakes up the next morning, his bacon strip shows that there is no pay dirt. It's brave of him to decide to go back to the deep cut even though no gold was found there last year. He has a strong feeling that all the gold in the cut might be concentrated under his access road, and that feeling is very important. As they look into the deep dig, they quickly find 2 rocks, which is seen as a good sign that there is a lot of gold there. Then something strange happens. The cut is supposed to start filling with groundwater, even though everything else is dry, until Rick breaks a berm on purpose and floods the area. Additionally, they make things more difficult by using a pump to remove water from the dry area to smooth things out. Even though the digging process was hard, 126.86 ounces of gold were found after everything was cleaned up. Good luck, Rick. Your season total now stands at 687.68 ounces, showing that you have the toughness and adaptability needed to work in the volatile world of gold mine. But things get interesting when Rick puts Brennan on the Rally Valley night shift. During the first night shift, a rock truck breaks down, but it is fixed well. Brennan has to peel the next night, which is called Glacier Till. Foreman Brennan is promoted by Rick the next day after a short break in the story. People are left thinking about the possible interesting things that were said but not done during Brennan's night shift and promotion, since the recap jokes about leaving out the more interesting parts. The story is now following Rick as he digs deeper into Rally Valley. Something strange happens when he hits a bed of rocks and blocks 30 feet earlier than planned. But when you look at things in a bigger picture, it might not have been as shocking as people made it out to be. People believe that these rocks are good signs of good gold, which is made clear in the story. It's good that Rick finds 25 to 30 gold nuggets when he tries pans of the material. Rick sees what could happen and chooses to try his smaller wash plant in a bigger way. He needs to build a new road and a bridge across the valley so that everyone can get there. 14.02 ounces of gold are made in the 1,000-yard test. Because of these discoveries, Rick feels a sense of urgency and panic throughout the show. The reason is that Monster Red, the main wash plant, isn't ready to handle new ground. Rick has a tough choice to make. He doesn't want to throw away the valuable pay dirt, but he needs to run it through his wash plant right away. So far as we can tell, Rick's changes to his plans have made a huge difference for the whole Gold Rush crew. At first, Rick didn't want to set up Monster Red when he got to the last pay stage in Rally Valley. But at the beginning of the show, he has to face the hard truth that he needs to set up Monster Red in order to get to the top pay level. This decision sets the stage for the challenges and wins that will follow. In the episode, Rick is seen handling Monster Red. At first, there are only a few happy shouts and not much else happens. When a brand new hopper feeder appears out of nowhere, the story takes a turn that no one saw coming. It was said that Rick had spent all of his leftover money on updating Monster Red and buying a new dozer over the winter, so this is even stranger. Some people think that he may have bought the hopper feeder with money from Fred's supposedly endless savings. Rick is able to run Monster Red for 2 days and get 43.53 ounces of gold, even though it had some problems at first. When the rocks roll back down Rick's conveyor belt, they make things tricky. To fix the problem, he calls the company that made the hopper feeder, and they add a finger trap to keep the rocks from going back down the line. When Rick makes this change, the program goes on to the cleanup stage, where he finds an amazing find, 181.17 ounces of gold. At this point, though, it looks like Rick is having a rough season and needs help. People in the crowd were shocked when Rick's father, not the man who drove the truck, was called in. The episode looks like it was cut together badly, with sudden changes in the weather and seasons. At first, Rick's dad can be seen going outside in the snow and then getting on a rock truck. But the snow goes away quickly. The description is funny because of the uneven editing. Soon after, the 700 digger breaks down, and trying to rewild the hydraulic tubes makes the situation worse. Later attempts to empty the lines don't work and make things worse. Even though it's hard, Rick finds an amazing 122.21 ounces of gold. When Rick spends a lot of time in Rally Valley in late fall, more things happened. He is suddenly called away from his work to let him know that the claim owner is there. When late fall turns into early winter, things take a turn that no one saw coming. The owner of the claim says she wants to sell it to Rick, but she won't say how much. For some reason, Rick is given an extra chance. He has 2 years to make the 150-ounce down payment if he can. After that, there are heated conversations, looks, and thoughts that make Rick come up with what seems like an odd plan. The first exciting part of Rick's plan is to go back in time to late summer. Running Monster Red and Rocky at the same time is a brave move. The storyteller builds a sense of mystery and tension by picking up on people's confusion about the strange editing choices. As the story goes on, an accident happens when a rock truck tips over while backing up to dump on a pay pile. The part that's unclear is when it turns out that the truck was empty the whole time, but fully filled when it tipped over. This makes the story even less clear. It's time to clean up in the middle of all the strange things that are going on. Rocky gets 95.4 ounces, but Monster Red gets 219.8 ounces, which is even more. But when people are celebrating a win, winter comes back quickly. Rick is not bothered by the passing of time. He decides to take advantage of the situation and buy the claim from its owner, promising to pay the 150 ounces that they had agreed upon. All of these show how unstable gold mining can be by showing both losses and wins. At the end, Rick makes a big decision that will affect the future of his business in Rally Valley. Even though it had snowed earlier in the season, Rick thought the big snowfall in the middle of winter was the first big snowfall of the year. Rockies will be closed for the year because of the snow, says Rick. This choice makes someone suddenly sneeze, which draws attention to the problems and irritations the mining operation is having. The fact that the pay in Rally Valley is so wet shows that they have hit the water table. To fix this, Rick adds a pump. Cutting that goes very quickly and exciting scenes. People say that the lack of progress the next morning is because the pump is too small, but it looks like there may be more issues. Rick decides out of the blue to take another pump without permission, which leads to a dry cut the next day. The story is mostly about the drama of the pump problem, but the water table's uneven effects make you wonder about some things. Since Rick has to pay $40,000 for the pump, it becomes more likely that Fred, who seems to have endless resources, could help with money. Even though there are problems and disagreements, the cleanup goes well, and 206.09 ounces of gold are found. These different kinds of problems and good outcomes show how unpredictable gold digging can be in the winter. As soon as winter comes early on Rick's claim, he might call all of his miners together for an encouraging speech and tell them to work harder. This is a common theme during the mining season. Rick sets up 2 machines to feed the 400-yard-per-hour wash facility so that he can get the most work done. One loader had electrical problems while it was working. These problems can be quickly fixed by cleaning the links between the batteries. Suddenly, a lot of the cut gives way, which makes the person angry and makes them swear and rub their face. Drone footage shows that the group quickly runs away because they are afraid for their lives and their gear. As the last step in the cleanup process is completed, an amazing 393 ounces are found. For the season, Rick has now weighed 2,047 ounces of gold. When you look more closely at the final gold weigh-ins, you can see that he found 19% of his gold in the last 4 weeks of the season. This is an amazing feat of gold mining. Overall, it was a great search, but do you remember when Rick's girlfriend showed up and saved the day? Lise, Rick's girlfriend, helps out a team member who is hurt. Rick's co-worker got lost in the mine madness of the bacon strip, but Elise's surprise truck skills turned things around. Rick now has 502 ounces of gold for the season, which was worth over $900,000. The crew won with 47 ounces of gold. To get to lower, nugget-rich ground, Rick Ness sped through the bacon strip at Duncan Creek. Riley, his new partner, wasn't at work, and he couldn't get in touch with him or tell him when he would be back. This made him angry. It made Rick feel bad, especially after a hard year. With only 2 rock trucks, Rocky could not work at full speed. Elise, Rick's girlfriend, offered to drive trucks to help. Rick gave it some thought, but in the end chose to let her learn with crews. Elise amazed everyone by being able to handle the basics and even learn more harder lessons, even though she had never been digging before. Rocky was back with 3 trucks, and Elise was driving one of them to help them move forward. Once again, Rick was pleased to see that the crew had reached 47 ounces of gold, which is more than $145,000. Rick has now caught 502 ounces this season, which is worth more than $900,000. This is a big accomplishment for the small group. The show ended with a funny moment where the crew made fun of Elise for something she did on the rock truck that no one saw coming. The Ness team has their best mining week yet, making almost $300,000. When Monster Red lost efficiency because of a problem with the pipeline, Rick Ness was put in a tough spot. And surprising 181 ounces of gold were found in just 70 hours, thanks to a quick fix for a finger trap and quick thought. Rick is now hoping that he will reach the rare 2,000-ounce mark. There was a lot of competition for Rick Ness to win the 2,000-ounce prize, which was the biggest award of the season. But because of problems with the seat conveyor, Monster Red dropped from moving 300 yards of dirt per hour to moving only 200 yards of dirt per hour. Its once efficient operation came to a sudden stop. Rick was afraid that he might lose gold, so he called a company right away and prayed that they could fix it quickly. There was still a lot of yardage left in the season, so Rick knew how important it was to fix this right away. During a very important meeting, Rick told Proctor Barry and Scott Ezekiel about the problem of rocks going back down the conveyor belt more slowly. It was suggested that a finger trap, which is a frame with 8 metal fingers, be built to catch rocks and let pay dirt flow through. Rick agreed to the idea and emphasized how important it was, even though building was supposed to stop. As smart as ever, Barry and Scott looked through the boneyard for extra parts that they could use to make Rick's finger trap. This smart fix took several hours to finish, and Monster Red was now ready for a test run. The team was nervously waiting for the results and thought how much gold they would really find in Rally Valley. The group found an amazing 181 ounces of gold in just 70 hours, which was more than they thought they would find. Because of how well it turned out, Rick said it was one of their biggest gold finds. He told the team thank you and said he was excited to mine at Monster Red's fast pace to keep the momentum going toward the elusive 2,000-ounce goal. Troy Taylor, the owner of the land where Rick Ness is looking for 2,000 ounces of gold, gives him a chance by offering to buy the land with a 150-ounce down payment. Ness now has the most gold he has ever won. Kyle Lawson, a rookie, is in charge of a bold plan that makes an amazing 315 ounces every week. Rick is driven to succeed, so he makes a promise to own land even though there are problems. Mine manager Rick Ness staked his young career on a 190-foot deep-cut test drilling, which increased the chance of a $5 million gold hit. Rick is 800 ounces short of his goal weight of 2,000 ounces because the results haven't lived up to his hopes. Rick is worried about his survival as winter comes and the high-grade pay layer stays out of reach. He isn't just enjoying digging a big hole. Rick knows he needs to find an answer and thinks about the best way to reach his season's goal. Troy Taylor, the owner of the Duncan Creek house that Rick is said to be renting, calls him out of the blue. Troy makes Rick an offer to buy the land and puts down 150 ounces, which is equal to $250,000, $100. Rick is shocked by the offer, but he says he'll think about it and get back to you right away. Rick is having a hard time making a profit after spending a lot of money on new tools, so this offer comes at a bad time. Rick feels the rush and thinks of new ways to get more done and keep things going forward. He tells his team about a bold plan. He wants to run both wash stations at the same time. Rick talks to Kyle Lawson, who used to work as an iron worker in Yukon, and asks him to run a single workshop by himself so that this plan can work. Kyle takes on the job of running Rocky, the wash plant, even though he doesn't know much about mining. Because he is always short-staffed, Rick counts on Kyle to bring in the extra 150 ounces needed for the down payment. Since Rocky is back at work, Kyle is in charge of running the wash plant and filling the dirt by himself. He is in charge of the process and makes sure that the ashes don't get in the way of the flow. Even though it's hard, Kyle is able to process the gold and reports an amazing 315 ounces of output for the week, with 219.8 ounces coming from Monster Red and 95 ounces from Rocky. Rick is so excited about his huge gold find that he goes to talk to the homeowner, Troy Taylor, about buying the land. Rick is sure of his choice, so he agrees to buy the land and says that the down payment can't be returned. Rick says he is sure he will be able to pay back the loan before the end of the season, and the deal says that the fee plan will continue into the next season. As Rick gets closer to his goal of having his own land, he thinks about the challenges and opportunities that lie ahead. Rick is amazed by Monster Red's digging skills. When Monster Red makes a comeback, Rick Ness sets a 2,000-ounce goal for him. A new hopper feeder gets around problems and boosts output to more than 300 yards per hour. As winter gets closer, things get more urgent, and Rick's determination to finish his gold mine project on time stands out. Rick Ness, the mine boss, has to do the hard work of bringing Monster Red back to life in order to make his 2,000-ounce goal. Within 48 hours, his goal is to develop and improve the plant so that it works as efficiently as possible. A big LRS feeder with twice as much capacity as the old model is part of the plan, along with a simplified design that doesn't have any extra lines. Installing it is hard, especially when a heavy chute makes the toe lift work less well. The group changes the wire to stop more damage. The updated hopper feeder in Monster Red makes it possible for it to do more while keeping the focus on speed and ease of use. Rick thinks that running the plant at over 300 yards per hour will make it much more productive. The team brings Monster Red back to life after a scary moment with a broken part and sets it up to look at Rally Valley's rich pay dirt. It's becoming more and more important to get Monster Red up and running as winter approaches. Rick is determined to be successful in his gold mining project, as shown by his desire to end the season on a high note. Rick is looking forward to the arrival of the new hopper feeder and the chance to make money from Rally Valley's deep-cut pay dirt, especially now that Monster Red is ready for fight. The major turning point in Rick's journey to financial success and the completion of his 2,000-ounce goal was the repair of the wash plant. The leaves changing colors are a steady reminder that time is running out to get things done, so the rush is on. The biggest gold weights of Season 12 come from Parker using Lucifer's wash plant at Scribner Creek to its fullest, which yields 337.45 ounces. Rick's team can now clean up 3 ounces per hour. Parker's team at Big Red is having a great week because 596.6 ounces are worth more than $1 million. The story gives a short summary of the problems and successes that come with gold digging. The team meets at Scribner Creek for the gold weigh-in. They greet each other and talk about what they have planned for the week. Parker talks about the costs of the process. He says that he had to pay $350,000 to get rid of his deepest dirt, which added up to $1.4 million. Lucifer, his wash plant, needs to produce more than 180 ounces to break even, which will be hard to do since it only produced 84 ounces last week. When things went wrong, the team made changes that improved the wash plant's performance and cut down on the amount of water it used. Torsten gets the 750 digger ready for Duncan Creek's rough ground by carefully moving the movable undercarriage. Things are getting more exciting as the gold show gets closer. Since Mitch fixed the plant, he quickly shows off the result, which is a big step forward. The cleanup from the 750 makes an amazing 337.45 ounces, which is more than expected and brings in more than $600,000. Now, Rick's business runs for less than 2 weeks with only 4 employees and no dedicated mechanic, which is very different from last year's average of just over 70 ounces per week. The difficulties bring out the team's ability to change and keep going. The story then moves on to Rick's cleanup, where he gets 3 times as much gold as before, up from 1 ounce per hour. The crew is happy about the success and points out the big steps forward that have been made. As the team finishes up and thanks each other for their work, the friendship stays strong. The gold keeps coming out. Mitch's hard work pays off, and Chris does a nice job that adds to the overall success. The scene moves to Parker's team at Big Red, where everyone is happy about their accomplishments. More than $4 million has been put into Mud Mountain to get to its rich prizes, which is making people more excited. Big Red has never had a better week than this one, with a gold reveal that adds up to 596.6 ounces worth over $1 million. There are many problems, successes, and trades in the story, which gives a full picture of the hard world of gold mine. Scenes flow smoothly into the next, showing the highs and lows of the business before a successful gold weigh-in that makes money. The scene moves to Parker's team at Big Red, where everyone is happy about their accomplishments. More than $4 million has been put into Mud Mountain to get to its rich prizes, which is making people more excited. Big Red has never had a better week than this one, with a gold reveal that adds up to 596.6 ounces, worth over $1 million. There are many problems, successes, and trades in the story, which gives a full picture of the hard world of gold mine. Scenes flow smoothly into the next, showing the highs and lows of the business before a successful gold weigh-in that makes money. Ness only needs 300 more gold ounces to reach his season goal. However, as winter comes, Rick needs to get another 550 ounces to reach his 2,000-ounce goal. The group turns their attention to Monster Red and buys a strong pump to deal with the water problems in cold weather. The story shows how determined, creative, and persistent they were in the unpredictable world of gold digging. The snow on the steep land above Keno in late September is a sign that winter has come early. The once bustling wash plant, which is an important part of getting gold out of the ground, is now dormant under its winter coat, representing the problems caused by the changing environment. Rick takes a moment to think about the big chances he took when he started digging gold by himself. This shows how determined he has been over the years. In his third season away from the Kundik, Rick is almost at Keno's big gold find. He put down a big deposit to make sure that his claims are taken care of. But there is still a big problem to solve. He needs another 550 ounces to hit his lofty 2,000-ounce goal. The mining season is almost over. The story then moves on easily to the mine site, where Rick is solving a puzzle about water. Last week, Rocky, his second wash plant, helped him get the biggest gold weigh-in ever. Still, the coming frost is always a worry, and work has to be done all the time to keep the water flowing. The fact that Rocky has decided to shut down shows a shift in strategy, with more focus on Monster Red and a stronger push to reach the season's gold goal. Rick is having a hard time with the water problem while it is snowing outside, which shows how the process is always affected by weather below freezing. He is honest about the problems they've had and stresses how important it is to have a pump to stop the groundwater from coming in all the time. Even though they face problems and setbacks, the group stays motivated to find the money that is hidden beneath the waves. Rick and the rest of the team face the water problem head-on to find a solution. The discovery of a strong 10-inch pump is a turning point, but it comes at a high cost that shows the unexpected costs that come with the gold rush. As things stand, they perfectly show the spirit of teamwork and determination that is needed to overcome unexpected problems in the never-ending search for gold wealth. As the strong pump is used to show that it can move a lot of water, the story keeps going in a clever way. The combined efforts of the team to get the pump going show the dedication and teamwork needed to deal with the unpredictable nature of gold mine. Even though there are problems, costs that weren't expected, and ongoing problems with the weather, Rick is still set about the gold output. The results that could be seen, the gold that was recovered, and the hope for future success show how determined and clever Rick and his team were in figuring out how the unpredictable gold mining business worked. As our look into the fascinating world of Gold Rush and Rick Ness's gold mine tries comes to a close, we have seen how luck can change quickly in harsh terrain and as the seasons change all the time. Rick's journey has been an emotional roller coaster of highs and lows, persistence, and finally success, from managing falls in the cut to dealing with early winter storms. The rough conditions of the mining season have shown off the pristine beauty of Alaska's wildness and the strong will of the people who go there in search of money. Rick's changes to his plans and the thrill of finding gold at the last minute have shown how unpredictable gold mining can be. We are shocked by the problems that were solved and the wealth that were found as we say goodbye to the drama, thrill, and excitement that make up Rick Ness's search for gold. In these thrilling and difficult episodes, the superheroic and warrior-like qualities of Tony Beets, a gold miner, and the Winchester crew, who are able to survive the challenge of recovering their most recent machinery, are brought to the forefront. In the event that their excavator stops functioning owing to chain problems, what strategies will Winchester crew employ to deal with the situation? As a result of this circumstance, how will they get the end that they want? Let's join Tony Beets and the Winchester crew in their pursuit of gold and dive headfirst into the extremely fascinating endeavors that they are involved in. During his search for gold in Paradise Hill, Yukon, Tony Beets jumps headfirst into his objective. Tony Beets is making progress in the correct direction to achieve his goal of digging 5,000 ounces of gold, utilizing the sophisticated technology that is operating to effectively carry out his objective. He is in the process of maintaining his previous record. The most significant obstacle that he must overcome in his endeavor is the weather conditions, which have the potential to produce a significant disruption in his path. Even though it is the middle of September, the persistent rain is making the situation more stressful for the leader of the clan Dyke. This is because the rain is slowing down the machinery. In light of the fact that he is only 900 ounces away from achieving his objective, he is all set to dig the 80 pup cut, which has a great deal of potential to uncover a substantial quantity of gold. The rain is making things tough for them because it is filling the pond with water, but he is so excited to see the mounds of gold that are in the 80 pup cut. They were confronted with the same difficulty 12 weeks earlier, which led to the entire suspension of their operation. At that time, the ponds were flooded with water, and they had to construct them once more. This time, the same weather scenario puts a significant amount of pressure on his nerves, and he instructs Mike, one of his crew members, to take the 220 excavator to the dike by the pump area in order to fix things up and to prevent the dreadful repercussions of the water falling down in the ponds and disrupting their activities. The excavator 220 that Mike is operating is making its way through the sticky mud on its way to the dike. In spite of the rain that is getting heavier, he is hoping to reach the dike as quickly as possible. The excavator gradually slows down as a result of the muddy ground, which prevents it from progressing any further than it already has. In an instant, the excavator comes to a complete halt and starts to sink steadily. When he sees the excavator sunk down there, he appears to be somewhat dissatisfied. At this time, Tony arrives at the location and expresses his desire to retrieve the submerged excavator. He immediately ceases all of his mining activities because he is unable to continue with the mining endeavors without the excavator, and he cannot allow his machine to continue in this manner. It was initially their intention to pull the sinking excavator out of the water with the assistance of 2 additional excavators. However, this endeavor has not produced any results at all. They need to broaden the scope of their struggles in order to bring heavy gear to a state where it can function properly. As soon as Tony comes up with a strategy to bring the excavator through the door, they are prepared to put it into action without delay. He divulges his strategy to bring in further reinforcements. It is his intention to bring the 18-ton D6 dozer, as well as the enormous 115-ton D11 dozer. In order to construct a sturdy foundation for the excavator, he intends to first remove the water from the area surrounding the submerged excavator, and then, with the assistance of a D6 dozer, force the coarse tailing into the hole. Last but not least, the colossal D11, which is a monster with 850 horsepower, will bring out the excavator while it is on the sturdy reinforced ramp. Within the plan, they discover a glimmer of optimism. In spite of the fact that the idea appears to be fantastic, it turns out to be quite challenging to implement due to the enormous amount of dirty water. Tony assumes control of the D6 dozer and starts the process of removing the water from the area. As it should have been, it starts to demonstrate the progress that has been made. On the other side, Mike begins to add coarse tailing to the pit, and it proves to be really beneficial for them. Even if the severe rain in Paradise Hill slows down the process of gold hunting, Tony is still optimistic that he will be able to harvest more gold out of the 80 pup cut because it has proven to be quite fertile in terms of producing gold. Tony and his family are currently seated at the dinner table, which is located in their regular location. He laughs at Mike's suggestion that he should be held accountable for allowing their excavator to become submerged in the muck because he has been driving the excavator without paying attention to the directions. It appears that he is pleased to be able to release the tension in a span of 2 to 3 hours. Despite the fact that Tony claims that the success is the result of his engineering and wisdom, Mike says that it is relatively simple to retrieve the excavator. Tony laughs as he makes this assertion. In the meantime, Mike is weighing the gold that he has acquired by pouring it into the tray. Tony requires 300 ounces of gold in order to maintain the functioning of their family system. As soon as Mike starts pouring gold out of the jar, the entire family immediately focuses their attention on the scale, and they start reading it out loud. Almost immediately, the readout goes beyond 300 and to 500 ounces, which is significantly higher than what they had anticipated. The entire amount of gold that they acquire is 4,601 ounces, and they receive 500 ounces of gold that is worth $850,000. As a result of their excursion that took place in extremely severe weather conditions, they consider it to be exceptional. Jason Fraser, another mining boss, has arrived to Tony Beat's Hunker Cut along with his Winchester crew. This is occurring on the opposite side of the fence. They have been in Yukon for the first time, and they are getting close to the end of their first season there. After the toil associated with a lengthy summer season, they are so eager to get back to their homes. Therefore, in order for them to continue living freely, all that is required of them is 200 ounces of gold to pay their landlords. They are optimistic that they will achieve their ultimate outcome, which is to acquire approximately 200 ounces of gold. Tony gives his blessing to the proposal because he will profit 30% from it. As of right now, they have already reached 106 ounces, and the entire cut has been thoroughly investigated. The truck that John Van Tuyl is driving to the Winchester is equipped with a double-barrel wash plant that he has constructed at his home. He is holding the steering wheel. Over the course of the season, it has been functioning fairly well, and he is still holding out hope that it will continue to function in the same manner. As the third member of their skeleton crew, Butch, who was formerly employed as a logger, goes through the process of becoming an excavator operator, he goes from being a novice to being deeply appreciative. In the midst of his announcement that he is on the final thread of 10,000 yards, the excavator suddenly hits a setback. In the course of its operation, the chain of the excavator breaks. Following his descent from the excavator, he makes a beeline for Jason in order to convey the news that the trammel has ceased functioning. Upon Jason's arrival, they investigate the situation and discover that the chain that is dangling down the excavator is the cause of the machine's inability to function properly. They discover that the chain has been severed from the master link, which is responsible for holding the entire chain together. If the master link has become inoperable, the Winchester weapon system will be unable to spin its twin-barrel wash system. They have arrived at the conclusion that in order to avoid any delays in their work, they need to locate an additional master link to the chain. They search through a large bag of links and correctly identify the one that can be of assistance in the event that it is needed. However, John instructs Butch to attach the master link that is broken. He requests that he activate the TRL by turning the black button on the opposite side of the device to the opposite position. Subsequently, he requests that he let it go slowly while holding it. After that, he instructs him to move his hand slightly, since he does not want to cause his hand to get more compressed. Immediately after he raises his hand, the chain is unable to reach its wheel and they are forced to halt it for a period of time. They give it another go in an effort to recreate the procedure, and this time, they are able to make some further headway. During this time, Jason arrives at the location with the master link and climbs up the ladder in order to execute an assault on the chain. Finally, the Winchester crew succeeds in continuing their mining operation after the hard 2 hours of labor with the chain. They have a limited amount of time to meet their objective of 200 ounces, which is still 94 ounces short. Winter is just about to set in, and they have that time as a premium. When it comes to machinery, Jason laughs at the fact that they, like people, do not enjoy working during the winter months. Having returned to Tony's residence, he is currently seated alongside his woman. They have positioned themselves in anticipation of the Winchester crew, who are just about to arrive after cleaning the final patch. While he is thrilled, he is also hopeful that the Winchester crew will be able to accomplish what they have set out to do. During this time, the Winchester crew arrives at the location, and Tony inquires about the malfunction of the equipment that is causing them difficulties in their endeavor. Jason starts to pour the gold from a box onto the weighing scale, and they start reading it out loud at around the same time. They appear to be quite ecstatic and content with the discovery of 101 ounces of gold, which is beyond their expectations. This is because they have finally accomplished their objective, which is to acquire gold worth $350,000. Tony extends his most heartfelt congratulations to them on the successful conclusion of their first season at Yukon and extends an invitation to return to the location. It is a happy conclusion for Tony and the Winchester crew because their trips end up accomplishing their goal in a remarkable manner, despite the fact that they encountered a lot of challenges along the way and squandered a lot of time. In the comments section, please give your thoughts on these fascinating gold rush activities. And don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to the channel for more exciting and adventurous adventures in the future.
I just get a feeling there's more gold here. The way this material is piled up in here, I think the best stuff that there is could be at this corner.
The highly entertaining gold rush is all cutthroat gold mining and determination by some of the best miners in the industry. The compelling series takes us to see how Rick Ness has struggled to bounce back and take hold of his business, but things are off to a rough start. However, with Buzz on the scene and working with Rick, things may take a turn for the better for both men. Buzz Legault is driving a rock truck with great skill, but it isn't at the side of his longtime boss, Fred. Instead, he is driving through an unknown road when suddenly something unexpected stops his truck's movement. He responds quickly to this malfunction and begins pulling over and exiting the vehicle to search for the reason behind his unwanted delay. As Buzz examines the rock truck, he first has the suspicion that something was wrong with the tires. As he walks around the truck, he mutters to himself in annoyance and explains how much he dreads to think something could be wrong with the rock truck's transmission. If the transmission is no longer working, the Ness crew can kiss any ideas of using the ancient rock truck for their work goodbye. It is humbling to see how even Buzz, with all his skill and knowledge of this equipment, is not arrogant or uncaring when faced with the need to fix what's wrong with this dozer. Buzz is fearless as he crouches under the rock truck and examines the undercarriage carefully for the reason of its error. His careful examinations soon pay off when he notices that a couple of joints holding the drive shaft in place has been shorn off. The hard terrain and dangerous Alaskan paths can sometimes damage the vehicles with the rough environment and impact jarring the delicate parts of the machine. This is a huge issue because if Buzz cannot fix this, he will be completely out of a job. Not to mention how Rick will lose out on a ton of money if he isn't able to get back to sluicing gold. When someone's livelihood depends on their tools, this kind of error can be devastating. This entire ordeal has been extremely frustrating for Buzz since he has just finished fixing this problem with this rock truck, and now he has to readdress the problem for a second time. This is the downside of working with out-of-date machines.
It blew up pretty hard. You can see right here. I can put my hand inside the motor. And here's what's left of our piston. It exploded.
They constantly require maintenance that is time-consuming and expensive. Of course, the bright side of this situation is that Buzz knows exactly what to do to fix it. He explains that if the drive shaft is not connected to the rear end, then the truck will not move. His first challenge is to get his hands on the necessary parts and put everything back together. A time-consuming task when the team is under a lot of time constraints this gold mining season. Another issue with fixing this recurring problem is that it's a two-man job, meaning the necessity of pulling someone else away from their work. Of course, when one person in the chain is affected, so are the rest of the crew. This will only set them all back even more, cutting into the little time they have to mine the gold needed for the season. For this reason, Buzz decides to ask the camp's cook for help. Here we meet Travis, who is seen picking up some busted U-bolts that are needed to hold the drive shaft in place, allowing for the power from the motor of the dozer to arrive at its destination in the front and back tires. Travis is happy to present these bolts to Buzz, and they immediately get to planning their next moves. Working together, they head over to the rock truck, and Buzz pulls apart the drive shaft and they quickly replace the broken bolts with the new ones Travis has collected. The rock truck's engine gives power to the rear wheels, but the problem is that they have found that half the bolts have shattered somewhere along the way. The drive shaft is now totally out of alignment and unable to feed energy to the tires, meaning that the rock truck cannot move even an inch in this condition. Even if moving the truck was an option, it would be unwise to do so, as it would only damage the delicate drive shaft further, denying them the chance to fix it and keep working. As Buzz and Travis work under the rock truck, they identify that one of the bolts they used as a replacement is not the right style and that it went into the wrong hole. This realization has forced them to replace the new bolts all over again before they damage the inside of the drive shaft. The incorrect bolt has already cut the threading inside the drive shaft.
It looks like now we've got one that's wrong bolt in the wrong hole,
So Buzz has to re-thread the hole so they can replace the bolt with a factory-approved piece. This setback has Buzz clearly upset because this has been a careless and amateurish mistake. His bad mood does not stop them from fixing the drive shaft, even if it takes longer than planned. As Buzz climbs back into the rock truck, he tests the engine once more. Everyone relieved when the rock truck seems to be moving even smoother than before. Rick Ness sees Buzz heading his way inside the old rock truck and is glad to see that they are getting back to their schedules. It becomes apparent that he was aware there was an issue while he was busy at work. However, when Buzz and Rick greet each other, Rick says he doesn't even want to know what was wrong with the rock truck in the first place, since he is just relieved Buzz appeared in time to fix the issue and help out. Buzz jumps right to work as Rick finishes the last of his stockpile. With the rock truck running smoothly again, Buzz will start hauling pay dirt and helping Rick reach his gold ounce goals for the season. Back in Rick's own dozer, he can be heard giving Buzz his flowers and expressing how happy he is with how the situation was handled by Buzz. Rick is particularly impressed by Buzz's ability to problem solve and get back to work so quickly. His achievement of both transporting and fixing this old equipment, as well as his ability to think ahead, convinces Rick that Buzz is the kind of guy he wants around. The Ness crew is back at camp after Buzz fixed the old rock truck, and Rick has begun to work on the second stockpile. He has been able to keep the plant running the whole week. They all relax with some drinks, and Rick tells Buzz that coming from Fred, he did not have much hope. He also comments how much he appreciates all Buzz has done, since he was able to get that old truck running for them against all odds.
There is pressure here. There's no doubt about that, especially just being two of us. But for the amount of work that had to be done, Z and I made quick work of it and got this plant fired up.
And he hopes they will be able to see some gold come out of those efforts. Rick explains that while he does not know everything that went on over in Fred's camp, he does know that they were not having a lot of luck gold mining out there. Rick then asks Buzz what he would think of coming over to his crew. Buzz is extremely moved and sounds choked up when he laughs and says that it would be like leaving hell behind and to having so much more with Rick's team. He explains what he means with his next statement, claiming that in all his time working for Fred, he has barely made enough money to cover his personal expenses. With that emotional offer out of the way, the Ness crew gets back to business and weighs out the gold they have managed to squeeze out of the inhospitable land. To cover all his costs, Rick Ness needs at least 20 ounces of gold a week. As they measure out the gold, they arrive at a final weight of 23.8 ounces of gold, which equals a total of $46,000, bringing them a few ounces over their needed weight. They are delighted by the final weight, and Buzz mentions this may be his biggest haul of his life, commenting how it's well over the biggest haul Fred's crew ever managed to achieve. Rick sees this as a great start for them and assures Buzz that they have only just begun. He quickly calculates that altogether they have brought in around 65.2 gold ounces so far this week. Rick expresses that he is very happy with what they have achieved this week, and that all he needs is to keep bringing in more gold to put into the bank. He elaborates on his future plans, telling the crew that he intends to hire more crew and get more machines to cover more ground and acquire more gold. He explains that with the crew's help, he sees this dream being within reach.
I am. Look at that nugget right there.
Oh, buddy.
It looked really good.
As Rick stands, he tells the crew he wants to make Buzz's entrance into the team official. He hands over some dark t-shirts to Buzz with the crew's name on it, officially marking him as a new member. Thank you for watching until the end. Make sure to comment down below what you think of Rick's $46,000 gold haul and what your favorite part was. If you would like to keep up with this kind of content, make sure to subscribe and turn notifications on.
Been able to handle it, we would have been a little farther ahead than we are, but in that 10-inch pump, that's certainly got the power to do it.
Yeah.
But unfortunately, that came with a price tag.
Rick has been able to pay off his royalties for the year to Troy and is starting to feel better about this year's haul. Despite beginning his season 2 weeks later than everyone else, he is proud to say that he and his team have been moving along very well and have been working at full capacity. They have their hopper feeder in place and working through their pay dirt steadily. His goal of 1,000 gold ounces for the season is more urgent than ever now that he has a clear path ahead of him with no debts hanging over his head. The failure of last year cannot be repeated, as he failed to meet his goal and barely broke even. Rick plans to put some gold in the safe as the gold prices have shot way up.
This is great. 206 ounces.
Man.
That's awesome. If we just keep going deeper in that, it's just going to get better.
That's the next challenge, right?
Yeah.
He needs to turn things around this year or find a new career after past failures. Rick commiserates with his other crew members, saying that the past year felt like they were moving dirt around for fun rather than mining for gold. The past 4 weeks have been spent making their way through the cheap cut, where the gold is all found on the highest layer of dirt, practically sparkling in the sun. As they reflect on their mistakes and their work this season, they identify their biggest problem for this year. Their newest recruit, Mark, informs them that they are almost out of pay dirt from the cheap cut. This means that they have no pay to feed the wash plant, Rocky, and no gold to collect. Even the new guy knows that with only a day's worth of cheap cut pay left, they are going to have to look for new ground to sluice. An experienced gold miner, Rick knew that this was a problem that would come up sooner rather than later. So, Rick has been looking for a new area to mine. This pressing need for more pay dirt has fed the drive to explore the area and find new ground to mine. This urgency and success in the cheap cut has renewed Rick's passion for gold mining. He believes that his many years of experience have given him an edge and skill for this kind of gold and pay dirt prospecting. As Rick stands surveying the land, he points out piles of dirt that he feels could have the best gold content they've ever encountered. He points out a corner in the area that he has high hopes for, noting how all the dirt is piled up together. But why does he feel that way? Well, 20,000 years ago, on Lower Duncan Creek, a glacier once pushed up a mound of rock and dirt, known as a moraine, to the edge of the cheap cut. Rick believes that this blockage has trapped gold all up against it over the centuries. All gold that has washed down from the motherlode. If his theory is right, he has stumbled across a buildup of gold that has been growing for ages. Rick gathers the dirt and rock from where he believes the glacier created the moraine and puts it in his panning bowl. His belief is that this could be the best gold they found all year, and with the price of gold only increasing, he would make some of the largest profit margins in recent memory. He carefully pans the dirt in the nearby water, and he determines that he needs to see at least 15 to 20 distinct colors in the pan to make the area a viable location. Extending the cut is a decision that could make or break his career at this point.
You pull that big rock out of there?
I did, 2 of them, building Stonehenge here.
Where you start hitting those big boulders like that, like you're in the right spot.
The Ness crew at Duncan Creek is busy extending the cheap cut, trying to determine whether Rick's hunch is correct. Mark keeps adding to a stockpile of pay dirt that is meant to keep the wash plant running. They cannot afford to shut down. However, a problem arises when they lose water pressure over at the wash plant. This is extremely frustrating as it feels as though the team is being delayed and set back every single day, unable to catch up. The leak in the water pump is quickly spotted and tells them they have to shut down operations for the day until it is patched. All of this downtime is a huge red flag, so they decide against fixing the leak and instead replacing the water pump entirely. Carl brings in the backup, and they hurry to install it with the help of a crane. The replacement won't start up, causing their hopes to come crashing down. Rick Ness needs to calculate whether his decision to extend the cheap cut will pay off. Before getting to the numbers, Rick makes small talk and eases the tension in the room. Part of being a leader is tending to one's subordinates, and that's something Rick doesn't forget. Finally, they get down to business, and Rick pulls out the scale. To reach their gold weight, Rick would need an ounce of gold per 100 yards from this extension of the cheap cut. They have run over 7,000 yards, and Rick needs at least 70 ounces from this venture. The gold is carefully poured onto the scale, and it measures well over 70 ounces, reaching 82.37 ounces. This is a fantastic showing, especially because gold prices are up at a massive $1,750 an ounce. This means that Rick has mined $144,000 worth of gold from the cheap cut extension. His hunch, combined with his knowledge of the history and geography of Alaska, has paid off in a big way. This is Rick's biggest haul of the season. Everyone is left amazed, as they have never seen such a good cleanup with their own eyes before. Rick reflects on how they never came anywhere close to this last year. It seems that his theory about the moraine was proven correct, and he found an amazing cache of gold.
At this point, it's only numbers like that we need. They kind of got to keep going up, so.
Yeah.
And I know there's a lot more of it out here, right, on this property, so.
A few more hauls like this, and their season will go very smoothly. It also eases concerns that their late start in the season would irrevocably destroy their chances of meeting their gold ounce goal. It's barely September, and the weather has turned colder, covering the land in snow and slowing down operations for the Ness crew. This is a warning that the end of the season is around the corner, despite everyone believing they should still be experiencing autumn weather. Rick is upset, as he believes his wash plant, Rocky, should still be running at this time in the season. However, after helping him bring in his biggest gold ounce haul in the season only a week ago, his wash plant, Rocky, has shut down unexpectedly. The weather will not allow for water to run through the machine without freezing and disrupting the equipment. This didn't stop the team, but the more they tried to push the wash plant, the slower it would go. The longer and longer lengths of time it takes to use the wash plant end up costing them more time and money than just shutting it off. Rick comes to the hard decision that Rocky is done for the year, and now all efforts have to be focused on their second wash plant, Monster Red. While Rick understands that striking out on his own is risky, he thought the rewards would be worth it. A lot of people doubted he would be able to survive on his own like that, but so far, Rick has been able to prove them wrong. However, now with one wash plant down and the weather getting colder by the day, he is starting to have doubts. This is only his third season on his own after leaving the Klondike and finding the big gold in the mountains. Rick has invested a $250,000 deposit to purchase his claims, but the end of the mining season is creeping up, and he still needs 550 ounces to reach his target of 2,000 ounces of gold. Over the walkie-talkies, Rick gets a message asking him to check out a situation the crew is having with water. Rick races down to a massive pond of water where his worker is meant to be smoothing out the area. He tells him that they are going to need to get a pump to remove the water and give them access to the pay dirt below. After digging for over 2 months, the Ness crew are 170 feet down in the Rally Valley.
We finally got our hopper feeder in, and I paid off Troy his royalties for the year, so that feels really good.
This valley is completely filled with water, making it impossible for their equipment to traverse. The high-grade pay in the Rally Valley is something that the entire Ness crew is relying on to save this season and career. The 6 feet of water is a huge obstacle that will take time and money to remove. The pump is working, but the valley has only flooded out again, even with the work put into clearing it, setting them back even further than before. Rick's pump is only 6 inches and is no match against the estimated 6,000 gallons of groundwater currently flooding the valley. The water is leaking into the cut every moment. They realize that their plan is ineffectual and that the water pump doesn't work correctly either. Rick remembers that the Taylors have a 10-inch water pump sitting somewhere in their own equipment stash, and the only issue Rick can recall it having is that it has not been used for a couple of years. Their next step is to plumb up the hoses and place the equipment into position. Rick is worried since he knows they don't have much time left, and they need to get to the pay dirt as quickly as possible. The only thing standing in the way is the aider. Chris, a member of the Ness crew, explains that now that they have the 10-inch water pump, they will hopefully get this water cleared and the land dried out soon. Rick managed to drill the hose into place and tells the crew to fire it up. To everyone's relief, the pump turns on. Powered by a giant 465 horsepower dozer engine, the pump is said to be able to empty an Olympic swimming pool in just 70 minutes. This is around 660,000 gallons of water in over an hour. Rick points out how they can see the water being sucked out from feet away, and the hose spits out gallons of water in moments. This is a huge improvement to the wimpy 6-inch water pump that only made the flooding worse. Rick believes that when they arrive in the morning, the valley will be ready to be sluiced and the dirt relocated. The ability to shift their attention from the water and back to the gold is a good sign that they are making progress with this season's gold ounce goal.
Oh, I don't know why I'm so nervous. It's the first one of the year.
You seem a little giddy.
I am. Well, all right, I can't talk anymore. I gotta go.
Let's make it rain, boys.
Woo!
The next day, Rick greets his crew in the break room, in higher spirits than before. They have lost 2 days fighting the flooding in the Rally Valley, all while trying to avoid letting the recent cold weather from freezing them out of the rest of the season. Shutting down operations would be disastrous at this time. It is crucial that the Rally Valley delivers them the gold they need. Rick is still reflecting on where things went wrong, and he regrets that the first water pump did not work, as it would have saved them a lot of time that was wasted in bringing in the second pump and having to install it. They are grateful to have found the second pump, but now Rick reveals that it came with a price tag. Rick spoke to Troy, and according to him, he did not mind lending the water pump as long as Rick was willing to purchase it outright. With no other choice left to him, Rick had to pay $40,000 for the 10-inch water pump. This sets them back even more, as they now have to calculate the amount of gold they need to pay back the expense of the second water pump. Nobody is too upset about this news, as they needed the pump desperately, and they would not have been able to find another in time to dry out the Rally Valley. Rick pulls out a water bottle filled with gold, and says that he believes by the weight of it that they have made quite a bit of money and that their hard work and purchase of the pump will pay out. Then he takes out another water bottle filled with gold that he says is worth $100,000. The scale is set up and they start pouring in the gold. To hit the 2,000 gold ounce weight goal for this season, they will need to mine a whopping 550 ounces of gold before they pack up for the year. The scale slowly fills up with gold, and the final weight comes out to 106.9 ounces of gold. Rick then adds the 106 plus 100 gold in the other bottle to a total of 206,000 gold ounces mined. When calculated, this would give the gold a total of $370,000 combined. After this count, Rick only needs 300 ounces of gold to reach his ultimate season goal. If the Ness crew is able to protect Monster Red and keep it running even in this foul weather,
No secret, Rick spent a lot of time and money chasing after big nuggets last year on a hunch. I hope this isn't last year all over again. I don't need that.
they may be able to save the season after all. This is a huge accomplishment, given that they were delayed for days. Rick is sure that if they just keep mining deeper into the Rally Valley, they will soon reach their goal with even more gold to spare. Thank you for watching. We hope you enjoyed Rick Ness's biggest gold hauls and his comeback into the gold mining industry. Let us know in the comments what your favorite part was. If you want to keep up to date with the latest Gold Rush content, make sure to like and subscribe. Don't forget to turn notifications on so you never miss an update.
I'm hoping, that you can give me another chance here.
I'm just nervous about whether you can pull it off.
Rick Ness, a gold mining worker, is facing the worst day of his life after his wash plant machine caught fire. After taking a year off, Ness is determined to hit 1,000 ounces of gold to regain his life. He works lean and mean to get all the gold he can from the valley, despite only mining 95 ounces at the beginning of the season. Most of the gold is not his, as he has bills, fuel, and wages for his workers. Rick's determination to get his life back on track is evident in his relentless pursuit of gold. Rick Taylor, a mining entrepreneur, is in debt and must pay back his landlord, Troy Taylor, to secure access to the mining ground. After a year of paying no royalties to Troy, Rick made a desperate move to secure access to the mines and pay him back. Troy initially expressed doubts, but Rick signed his camp over to him, promising that if he did not meet the end of the bargain, he would lose everything in his camp. However, Rick had problems, as after over 7 weeks he was left with only 36 ounces of gold. Troy had come to collect his first royalty payment on the camp, and Rick had been trying to get more machines and people for labor, which had cost him a lot of money. To extend his deadline, Rick asked Troy to extend it to the end of the week, promising that he would have mined enough to pay Troy 50 ounces. Troy accepted Rick's proposal, giving him a week-long extension, and they shook hands on it. Rick's crew relied on his small crew to deliver the rest of Troy's gold by the end of the week, or Troy could sell off his camp, ending Rick's season. The crew was feeling pressure, as Morgan Lauren, one of Rick's crew members, and Buzz, another machine operator, admitted to feeling pressured due to their short-staffed operation. In Rick's defense, he wanted the mining operation to be a success for everyone, including Troy, his crew, and himself. However, nothing could have prepared them for what was about to happen next. One of the machines malfunctioned and started burning up, causing a huge blow for the team. Rick discovered that the conveyor belt of the machine had moved too far in one direction.
Morgan?
Yeah.
Get that long flat bar.
This one?
Yes, please. Thank you.
Causing friction and causing flames. The rubber belts used for spinning the pulleys in the machine had also been jammed and cut off in half. With no running wash plant to deliver Troy 50 ounces by the end of the week, Rick's comeback hung in the balance. If they didn't have belts on site, they would be down for 3 or more days, which meant they would lose over $20,000 worth of gold. This was a significant loss for the team, as they could not afford to do so judging by their goal. Rick, a mining company owner, is in a race to deliver 50 ounces of gold to Troy by the end of the week. He orders new belts and hopes they will arrive in time. Buzz, a local scout, finds some old belts that are too short for their wash plant, so they decide to make adjustments to the tension rod between the motor and the head pulley. The team manages to make the necessary adjustments, and the wash plant is up and running. The team is overjoyed, knowing that Buzz's newly found belts will buy them some time before the belts Rick ordered arrives and enable them to get enough gold to pay Tori before the deadline. Rick has spent a fair amount of money up front to get more equipment to his site as an attempt to increase production.
They must keep production running throughout the year to get as many hours of sluicing as possible to get as much gold as possible. However, their problems continue when the wash plant feeder breaks down again. The crew has to shovel out any remaining dirt on the feeder to analyze what is causing it to stop working. Rick finds a big rock stuck in the tail pulley, which is causing the feeder to stop moving. He pulls it out using a metal tool, but gets stuck between the metal beams of the feeder. Despite this, Rick manages to turn the machine on again, and the red monster is back in action. Although the production is up and running, Rick and his crew must continue mining to get as much gold as possible by the end of the week. After mining for as long as possible, the moment of truth has come. Lauren wishes they had mined enough gold to pay for the belts, Troy's debt, and snacks, which they were running out of. Rick, however, prioritizes paying off Troy's 50 ounces, or losing everything.
Get used to this, Rick. That's good. That's what we've been putting up. But, you know, the deep cut's better than that, right? So this is from one day of running the deep cut right here.
After all bills and costs are paid, Rick has only 36 ounces of gold left, meaning he needs 14 ounces and more for him to continue mining. After weighing the gold, Rick's team has 15.24 ounces of gold, which is not what they had planned, but at least means Rick will keep his mining spot. Although the team is disappointed that they will get back to almost zero after Rick pays off Troy, they believe starting from zero is better than starting from negative. Rick Ness, a gold miner, had been struggling with seasonal affective disorder and depression since missing the Gold Rush Season 13. His friend Brian Z. Zaremba, who had been away from the show for a long time, asked him about his struggles. Rick admitted that he still owned his mother's house but had not been able to step inside for 2 years. Before Season 14, Rick shared an update on Facebook, admitting that he had made bad decisions that cost him a year in mining. He later revealed that part of his troubles came from recreational drug use, including cocaine. Rick had to sell his mother's house to fund his latest mining season. Rick's admission of his issues did not stop there. He later opened up to People magazine, saying that he was a gold miner with the stigma and didn't really ask for help. He also mentioned that there was a lot going on in his head, but didn't know how to deal with it because he didn't even know what it was. He had never dealt with depression before, and the whole experience was new to him. The words of Rick's girlfriend, Lise Marie, showed how tough it was to navigate everything alone and look forward to his comeback. As people empathized with Rick, his girlfriend, Lise Marie, had more to share about his issues. Lise Marie, a fan of the popular reality TV show, Mr. Ness, has denied being the cause of Rick Ness's troubling behavior. She stated that she had nothing to do with the bad choices Rick made while they were together, stating that his issues had been present months before I even knew him. However, things took a dramatic turn just a month later when Lise shared on Instagram that their relationship had gone sour, revealing painful details about Ness's continued unfaithfulness. Lise shared her breakup news on Instagram, posting a bold text graphic with a message that seemed to say it all.
How's it going, Lance?
Doing good. How you doing, Freddie?
Doing all right. Good to see you.
Hey,
This
Rick.
is Rick.
Lance.
Nice to meet you.
A mistake is something that happens accidentally. Cheating and lying are not accidents. They are choices. In a sad tone, Lise opened up in her caption saying she could no longer stay silent to protect someone she truly loved. She went on to share specific, painful details about Rick's latest actions, revealing the heartbreak she'd experienced. According to Lise, just days after Rick had proposed to her, he cheated on her with yet another prostitute. This was an all-too-familiar betrayal. She claimed that since they had rekindled their relationship, Rick had been unfaithful at least 6 times that she knew of. But Lisa's pain was far from over. After 3 years of what she called constant cheating and lying, Lise admitted that it took finding out about yet another infidelity for her to finally learn her lesson. Determined to stand up for herself, Lise declared she would no longer hide who Rick truly was. Her post ended with a heartfelt cry, "God, please tell me what I did to deserve this." With the ongoing relationship drama, Rick's future plans remain uncertain. His house in Wisconsin has not been listed for sale, leading many to assume he still has the option to return. Meanwhile, the ups and downs of Rick and Lisa's relationship have played out publicly on social media. Throughout this turbulent time, Lise has repeatedly accused Rick of infidelity, claiming he cheated on her over 200 times. Rick took responsibility for their breakups in a Facebook post shared in November 2023, acknowledging his role in the chaos surrounding their relationship and holding himself accountable for his actions. He expressed gratitude for the support he received from others during this time and stressed that he didn't need to blame anyone else. As Rick continued on his journey of self-improvement, he focused on becoming a better person each day. With such a public narrative of their relationship, Rick's admissions revealed a complicated interplay of love, responsibility, and the struggle for redemption. His commitment to taking ownership of his choices highlighted a deep desire for growth, while Lisa's role as a steadfast partner showcased the emotional toll of navigating such turbulent waters. Rick Ness, recognized primarily for his role on Discovery Channel's Gold Rush, has garnered a substantial fan base owing to his appealing demeanor. Additionally, he has been featured in various spin-offs like Gold Rush, Parker's Trail, and Gold Rush the Dirt. Rick Ness, born on March 5, 1981 in Milwaukee, Wisconsin, spent his formative years in the company of his twin brother. Growing up in the heart of Wisconsin, Ness developed a deep-rooted passion for football, which became a central part of his identity. His dedication to the sport was evident from his early days, and he quickly became a standout player on his school's football team, showcasing immense talent and potential. With dreams of making it big in the world of football, Ness's trajectory seemed promising as he earned recognition not only locally, but also within the college football circuit. However, fate had other plans for him. Just as he was on the brink of stepping into the realm of professional football, a devastating injury struck, abruptly halting his athletic aspirations. Undeterred by this setback, Ness refused to let adversity define him. Turning his attention to another passion of his, music, he embarked on a new journey. Teaching himself to play the upright bass, Ness immersed himself in the world of music, discovering a newfound outlet for his creativity and expression. Fueled by his love for music, Ness co-founded the 375 String Band, a musical ensemble that would soon captivate audiences far and wide with its unique blend of bluegrass and folk-inspired melodies. With Ness's talent as a musician and his unwavering determination, the band soared to new heights, releasing 3 critically acclaimed albums and embarking on exhilarating tours across the globe. Through his resilience and versatility, Ness not only reinvented himself, but also carved out a distinct path for his artistic endeavors, leaving an indelible mark on both the realms of sports and music. Long before his television debut on Gold Rush, Rick Ness was already immersed in a world of hard work and hands-on experience. Alongside his brother Randy, Rick spent years working at their family's construction company in Escanaba, Michigan. It was here that he gained invaluable knowledge and skills in operating heavy machinery, learning the ins and outs of construction and excavation. Despite his proficiency in construction, Rick's interests extended beyond the confines of his family's business. His curiosity and drive led him to explore new horizons, including the world of gold mining. It was during one of his ventures outside of the construction realm that Rick's path intersected with Parker Schnabel's at the Southeast Alaskan State Fair. At the fairgrounds, amidst the excitement and camaraderie of the event, Rick and Parker struck up a conversation that would change the course of Rick's life. Despite his lack of direct mining experience, Rick's familiarity with heavy machinery caught Parker's attention. Moreover, Rick's genuine interest in the intricacies of gold mining resonated with Parker, who was leading his own mining crew on Gold Rush at the time. Their conversation planted the seeds of a new partnership and opportunity for Rick. Despite the challenges and uncertainties that lay ahead, Rick's willingness to embrace the unknown and his passion for adventure ultimately led him to join Parker's mining crew. This marked the beginning of Rick's journey into the world of televised gold mining, where his skills, determination, and adaptability would be put to the test in the pursuit of gold and glory. Parker Schnabel, being not only a colleague but also a friend, stood firmly behind Rick Ness when he expressed his desire to venture into independent mining. Recognizing Rick's determination and passion, Parker provided unwavering support as Rick embarked on this new chapter of his mining career. In the 9th season of Discovery Channel's highly popular series, Rick's journey as an independent miner unfolded before the audience's eyes. With his own crew by his side, Rick navigated the challenges and triumphs of running his own operation. From the intricacies of prospecting to the demanding tasks of extraction, Rick and his team tackled each obstacle with grit and determination, ultimately achieving remarkable success. Throughout the season, viewers witnessed the fruits of Rick's labor as he and his crew unearthed an impressive 105 ounces of gold, a feat that not only solidified Rick's position as a capable miner, but also showcased his entrepreneurial spirit and leadership prowess. Beyond the realm of reality television, Rick's financial success is a testament to his dedication and hard work. As a main cast member of Gold Rush, where the primary objective is to strike gold, Rick commands a substantial salary reflective of his contributions to the show. Additionally, his ventures in the mining business have proven lucrative, further bolstering his financial standing. Yet Rick's financial portfolio extends beyond mining. His foray into the music industry, albeit brief, has left a lasting impact on his earnings. With a net worth reported at $3 million, Rick's multifaceted career and diverse talents continue to propel him to greater financial heights, solidifying his status as a prominent figure in both the mining and entertainment worlds. As Rick Ness plunges into the heart of the gold mining season, he finds himself embroiled in a high-stakes race against the clock. His eyes are firmly fixed on the prize, reaching the elusive target of 2,000 ounces of gold, the pinnacle of success for any miner. However, the path to glory is fraught with obstacles, and Rick's journey is no exception. The latest hurdle comes in the form of a daunting setback: the reduction of Monster Red's processing speed from a robust 300 yards of dirt per hour to a mere 200. This unforeseen turn of events threatens to derail Rick's ambitious plans and jeopardize his chances of achieving the season's most substantial payday. With each passing hour, Rick is acutely aware of the potential losses in gold revenue, a daunting prospect that looms over him like a dark cloud. Undeterred by the setback, Rick rolls up his sleeves and dives headfirst into troubleshooting mode. His keen eye for problem-solving is put to the test as he grapples with the operational issues plaguing Monster Red, particularly with the malfunctioning seat conveyor. Aware of the urgent need for a solution, Rick takes decisive action, dialing back the processing speed to mitigate further damage while he awaits assistance. The gravity of the situation is not lost on Rick, who understands the critical importance of maintaining momentum in a relentless quest for gold. With an unwavering determination, he braces himself for the challenges ahead, knowing full well that the road to success is fraught with twists and turns. Despite the mounting pressure and the weight of expectations bearing down on him, Rick remains resolute in his resolve to overcome adversity and emerge triumphant in his pursuit of the ultimate gold mining prize. As Rick awaits the arrival of the technicians, anticipation and apprehension mingle in the air. Every passing moment brings with it a glimmer of hope that the impending solution will offer a reprieve, a lifeline that could potentially salvage his ambitions and propel him closer to his gold mining dreams. In the midst of uncertainty, Rick clings to the belief that perseverance, coupled with a stroke of luck, will ultimately tip the scales in his favor, leading him one step closer to the coveted 2,000-ounce milestone and the riches that lie beyond. Rick Ness reported that they had the earnings plant up and running, but he expressed doubt about its effectiveness. He mentioned that the current operation wouldn't get them anywhere near their goal, and suggested they might as well have stuck with the previous setup. He then greeted Proctor Barry and acknowledged him as the person he had been communicating with. Rick explained that he had increased the speed, but it seemed the equipment couldn't handle it. He elaborated that the problem was the risk of round rock occurring at that speed, causing the rocks to tumble back down the conveyor, as he had previously mentioned. Rick Ness conveyed the urgency of the situation, emphasizing the need to maximize efficiency for the remainder of the season. He expressed his concern about running out of time and stressed the importance of increasing the processing speed to its maximum potential. Currently operating at about 200 yards per hour, Rick aimed to elevate it to 300 yards per hour. In discussion with his team, including Barry Proctor and Scott Ezekiel, Rick proposed a solution to improve the operation's effectiveness. He suggested constructing a set of fingers, strategically positioned to prevent rocks from tumbling back down the conveyor. This innovative approach aimed to optimize the processing system, ensuring a smoother and more efficient workflow moving forward. In collaboration with his team, Rick envisioned a finger trap, a frame equipped with 8 metal fingers suspended from a horizontal beam. This device would serve as a barrier, intercepting rocks and preventing them from impeding the operation's progress. Through careful planning and teamwork, Rick and his colleagues embarked on a mission to enhance their mining operation, overcoming challenges and striving for success in their quest for gold. The fingers allow pay dirt and smaller rocks to pass through unhindered, ensuring a smooth flow of material into the processing plant. However, any larger rocks or debris rolling down the conveyor are intercepted by the fingers, preventing them from causing disruptions to the operation. These rocks are then captured and carried up to the plant, where they can be processed along with the pay dirt. Acknowledging the effectiveness of the proposed solution, Rick expressed his concern about the time required to implement it. Barry and Scott estimated that the construction process would likely take 4 to 5 hours, necessitating a temporary shutdown of the operation. Understanding the urgency of the situation, Rick requested a brief pause of 15-20 minutes to facilitate the installation of the finger trap. With the plan in place, Rick expressed his gratitude to the team for their efforts and cooperation. He recognized the importance of their collaboration in overcoming challenges and improving the efficiency of the mining operation. Barry and Scott were tasked with constructing the finger trap using salvaged scraps from Rick's boneyard, demonstrating resourcefulness and ingenuity in finding solutions to operational hurdles. With the construction of the finger trap complete, Rick and his team were ready to put their solution to the test. They gathered the necessary materials, including 4-inch square tubing, HSS, flat bars, and channel, ensuring that they had everything required to make the finger trap a success. With a sense of confidence and anticipation, Rick declared that their creation would indeed do the trick. As the team got to work assembling the finger trap, they worked efficiently and methodically, with each member contributing their skills and expertise. Rick reminded everyone to watch their hands and stay safe as they completed the final steps of the construction process. With the finger trap now installed and operational, Rick shut down the operation momentarily to allow for a quick inspection. Scott, who had been instrumental in the construction process, gave the finger trap a thorough examination and confirmed that it looked good and was ready for testing. With a sense of excitement, the team wasted no time in resuming operations, eager to see if their solution would yield the desired results. Rick wasted no time cranking up the processing speed to 300 yards per hour, eager to put the finger trap through its paces. As the conveyor belts whirred back to life and material began flowing through the system once more, anticipation filled the air. With the finger trap in place, Rick and his crew were poised to discover if they had struck high-grade pay dirt in the Raleigh Valley, a momentous occasion that would mark a significant milestone in their mining endeavors. The conversation turned to the changing of the seasons, with a sense of concern creeping in about the sudden onset of yellowing leaves and the rapidly cooling temperatures. The abrupt transition to autumn seemed to catch everyone off guard, with the days becoming noticeably shorter in what felt like the blink of an eye. Despite the unsettling pace of change, there was a sense of camaraderie among the team, united by their shared experiences and the challenges of their work. One member of the crew remarked on the irony of their situation, jokingly suggesting that they were all in their line of work because they weren't suited for anything else. The lighthearted banter served as a moment of levity amidst the seriousness of their task. Suddenly, a metallic clink caught their attention, prompting a pause in the conversation. Upon closer inspection, they realized that the sound was not from lead, as initially assumed, but rather from gold, a discovery that elicited a mix of excitement and disbelief among the crew. The weight of the revelation hung heavy in the air, underscoring the significance of their work and the potential rewards that lay within their grasp. Reflecting on the week's progress, one member admitted to succumbing to temptation and increasing the processing speed in a bid to maximize their output. It was a moment of candor that highlighted the ever-present pressure to succeed in their demanding line of work, where even the smallest decisions could have significant consequences. Despite the capacity of their equipment, Rick acknowledged that the round rocks in the area posed a unique challenge. They had a tendency to roll back, hindering their operations' efficiency. While they weren't able to run at maximum capacity for the entire week, they still managed to put in a solid effort, sluicing for a total of 70 hours, albeit dialing back the processing speed to 200 yards per hour on some days. Eager to see the fruits of their labor, Rick and the crew decided to take a look at their weekly haul. With anticipation building, they gathered around as Rick began to weigh the gold. The tension mounted as the scale ticked higher and higher, surpassing even Rick's expectations. It became clear that they had struck it big. A whopping 580 ounces of gold, worth an impressive $325,000. Amidst the celebration, Rick expressed his gratitude to the team for their hard work and dedication. He marveled at the magnitude of their achievement, noting that it was one of the biggest gold hauls they had ever seen. With their total now exceeding 1,000 ounces for the season, Rick was filled with renewed optimism for the future. As they basked in the glow of their success, Rick couldn't help but joke about the inconvenience of having to leave his beer behind in order to carry 2 pans of gold. It was a moment of camaraderie and triumph, a testament to the resilience and determination of Rick and his crew in the face of adversity. With their sights set on even greater riches ahead, Rick and the crew prepared to embark on the next phase of their journey, fueled by the promise of more gold and the camaraderie that comes from working together towards a common goal. Rick Ness has proven he has what it takes to hack it in the mining industry.
Yeah, this is Rick Ness. Yeah, I think you got something of mine. Listen, I know that you took my 10-inch suction line, all right? No, I know. No, hey, listen, you listen. You took something that belongs to me, and I want it back. This
Rick Ness has struggled to make a comeback after taking some personal time off, but now Rick is up against rivals in the area who would see his destruction. He has discovered a neighboring miner stole his only suction line that feeds vital water to his wash plant. Without it, Rick has no hope of getting on the gold. How will Rick face off against thieves? In this cutthroat industry, any wrong move could see his career and life destroyed.
You're not gonna believe this. I found a suction line. Some on the other side of the mountain took it.
Rick is driving down a very muddy and wet road toward his worksite at high speed. He is in a state of emergency. When he jumps out of his truck, he immediately pulls out his phone and tells the person on the other line that he knows they took his 10-inch suction line. He is cursing and arguing and tells the person on the line that he needs to listen. Insistent that he knows they stole his property, he raises his voice and tells them that he needs his stuff back. After asking around, Rick has discovered that a neighboring miner has stolen his only suction line that he desperately needs to get his operation going. Without this vital piece, he cannot pay back his debts or get back on his feet. A wash plant cannot operate without water, and that is what the suction line provides. After his phone call, Rick begins calling out for his best friend, Z, and telling him that he found out a guy on the other side of the mountain took the suction line. Rick explains that his source of information was Kyle, who worked for him last season. According to Kyle, the guy who stole the suction line had been asking around for one, and later, he saw the thief searching around the area where Rick's suction line was left. Z is stunned that anyone would just steal like that. Rick is having a hard time controlling his anger, as he says he cannot stand stealing, and he promises Z that he will get back his suction line. Rick runs to his truck and goes racing toward the neighbor's worksite. On his way there, he comes across a pair of men driving toward him in a big SUV, and he pulls up next to them, both their windows down to communicate. When they disclose their identities, their faces and names are blurred out.
I'll turn around, you can follow me down there.
And we learn that they are not the thief from the phone call. Rick tells them to follow him back to his site. As the two strangers drive around to follow him, Rick turns to the camera and says he knew the thief would not have the guts to see him face to face, so he sent his 2 employees to return the suction line for him. Rick says he is trying to control his anger because he just caught a glimpse of the suction line on the trailer and it is all messed up and smashed. If the suction line is unusable, then he plans to drive straight out to confront the thief in person and knock his teeth out.
I'm trying to keep my together right now because I just saw it on the trailer and it's all up. If this ain't usable, I'm driving straight out there. I'm gonna knock his teeth out.
This entire situation has been testing Rick's patience like nothing ever has before. When he gets out of the truck to examine the suction line more closely, he starts to laugh in anger when he sees the condition of his property.
Are you kidding me? This is ridiculous. It's destroyed.
In an effort to calm down, he goes over to Z to describe the condition of the suction line, describing how even the basket is destroyed. We learn that the hose has been crushed flat, and they use duct tape to try and piece it back together. Rick storms away in anger, and he uses the excavator to remove the suction line and basket off of the truck bed and just lets it clatter to the ground. After that, he yells at the quickly disappearing SUV of the thieves and tells them that he is going to pay a visit to their boss soon.
Tell your boss I'm coming for a visit.
Rick is still fuming, shaking in anger and adrenaline as he stares at the junk they brought him back, and he wonders why they would even send it back when it is clearly unusable. Rick turns to Z and tells him he thinks they should go up there and get a new suction line from the thieves, but Z advises him to calm down and look at things rationally. Rick is stubborn and says that he is owed a new suction line from them and won't let this issue go. Z agrees that they are owed better, but their situation requires them to choose a path that would be the quickest, safest option, and then they can deal with the rest later. Z tells him that he should just ask to borrow a suction line and wait to cool off to deal with the thief. Rick thanks him for his sound advice, and they both get back to setting up their wash plant. After that intense confrontation, Z and Rick get to work, sluicing some stockpiled pay dirt from the Rally Valley cut. The two of them have made quick work of the pay dirt, and things have been going very well for them. As they scoop in the last bit of pay dirt for the day into the wash plant,
we also see the bedrock contact coming in here. And in between, I think, is the paleo channel.
Well, that's perfect.
Rick explains that he's just excited and relieved to see some gold being gathered after too long a journey to even get started. Rick pauses the wash plant and takes a close look to see how much gold is sitting in the box. He finds it difficult to see through the dirty water, and Z thinks there is too much dirt filtering through the plant. And if even he can spot the flaws in their operation, he considers it a very bad sign. A few tense moments pass where neither of the men spots any gold in the wash plant, when finally Z locates a chunk of gold. They bask in a moment of pride and reflect on what a difficult journey it has been to get to this moment. Rick passes Z the first bit of gold they found and says that it's for him to keep, because he's so thankful for his hard work and dedication. Things are looking bright for Rick Ness. Over at Duncan Creek, Rick Ness is on top of the world as he clears overburden out of the creek cut so that he can have a large stockpile of pay dirt constantly feeding his wash plant. He is feeling confident about this because this cut helped them reach their goal last year, and he hopes it will pull them through to their goals this year too. Only 5 weeks into the season, and he has already mined 250 ounces of gold. This is Rick's fastest and most lucrative beginning ever. The only issue he has now is that they are running out of pay dirt from the creek cut. The consistency they've been experiencing will soon run dry. According to Rick, they only have around 4 days worth of pay dirt in the next strip, so to progress, they need to expand their operation and spend more money. As the workers load up more pay dirt for the wash plant, they notice that Rick looks to be ready to announce something. Rick tells his crew that they need to move locations soon and that he has picked out a place upstream, hoping to get similar results.
I hate to make guesses, and I won't, but I will say that it looks good. It looks really good, like some of the best I've seen it in that box. So,
if the pay streak from the creek cut continues under the 26 acres of frozen ground to the west of them, it could hold over 1,000 ounces in gold. The biggest problem with this plan is that there is permafrost in the area, which means that it has never been mined. However, they have never dealt with permafrost before. They crew decide that they'll use the new dozer to tackle their permafrost problem. This will cost quite a bit of money. The dozer cost $500,000 and burns $2,500 of fuel a day, which amounts to the same operating cost of all of the other equipment Rick owns combined. However, this dozer was built to be able to open up ground with frost points. It pushes 2 rock trucks worth of dirt in one scoop. The dozer weighs over 300,000 pounds and begins to sink into the soft dirt. This causes the operator to slow down and eventually become stuck in the dirt. Rick is called to help pull the dozer out of the deep mud. Rick is worried by this delay because it is necessary for him to keep stripping land, and any delay could cause his entire operation to stop completely. The removal of the dirt begins, and Rick believes that as soon as he digs out all of that soft soil and mud out of the way, the wheels of the dozer will get more traction and allow it to move forward with ease. His focus remains on getting back to work as fast as possible. As Rick digs, he and Brennan coordinate to avoid any collisions between the two massive machines. Rick manages to remove the last bit of mud, and the dozer is free. The quick rescue leaves them in good spirits, and they hurry to get more pay dirt ready. We hope you enjoyed some of Rick's best moments on Gold Rush. Thanks so much for watching. If you want more content like this, make sure you subscribe and turn on notifications so you never miss an update.
there's 40, going 50, awesome. 60, 70. No way. 82.37. You're acting like a toddler, Rick. You are making an enemy out of me. It's not what I intended.
Parker, man.
Yeah, I'm going out mining on my own. I've got an opportunity, and I am going to take it.
Jeez.
The cast of Gold Rush are old associates all these years later with a lot of shared history together. However, from among the stars of the show, none have as long a history and friendship as Parker Schnabel and Rick Ness. So, when things got difficult for Rick Ness recently, he knew exactly who to turn to for help.
But it's not, it's not the answer for the season. I need something I can rely on. So I'm going to see Parker right now. I heard he just bought a whole nother mine. Now it's been a few years. I really don't know what to expect here.
None other than his old boss and good friend, gold mining wunderkind, Parker Schnabel. Team Ness is hard at work, but it becomes apparent that Rick requires more crew members if he wants to hit all of his goals for the season. No one else is coming in, adding a lot of pressure to Morgan Lauren, a new member of the team. Another issue that is adding to the pressure is the shabby state of the equipment. Morgan points out that the work would be completed much faster if they were able to bring in some newer equipment. While she concedes that the old rented loader does run and gets the task done, she hesitates to call it efficient or even fully functional. As she explains the issues with the loader, she reveals that it's missing its front cab. This means that she has been eating a ton of dirt, and the massive, powerful tires have been kicking up a storm of sand and dirt into her face the whole time. This issue sounds mostly humorous until one imagines the danger of consuming that much dirt, not to mention the damage caused to the loader by having a ton of dirt getting into the cab and the controls. As Rick and Morgan work, they make a greater dent in the pile of dirt. However, even with their speed and dedication, soon something goes wrong. Morgan exits her loader in concern and notices that something is very wrong with her vehicle. She quickly exits the loader and hurries over to the loader's side, observing that the machine is leaning over in a very precarious manner. After a quick look, she determines that the leaning is being caused by a flat tire. She pulls out her walkie-talkie and contacts Rick, informing him of her need to shut down the plant because of her loader's flat tire. Rick quickly goes over to the wash plant and stops all activity.
Rick brought down the 750 for me, and we threw the 330 up there to do tailings. As long as we can keep this gold rolling up to the plant, that's the only thing that matters.
This is to save money and energy from a machine that can cost him a ton of money if it is not actively separating gold from dirt at all times. Rick is upset and decides that he needs to do whatever it takes to remedy this problem. Finding a replacement loader or a new tire is his first thought. He drives away in his truck, musing over where he has an old loader stored for such an occasion. However, after some consideration, he decides that the loader he has is not going to be the answer to this current problem, since he needs something he can rely on, not to break down. This is where Rick explains that he heard his old boss, Parker Schnabel, just bought an entirely new mine, and it came with a ton of equipment with it. The hope Rick has is that the equipment will have a spare motor somewhere that he can use. While he is hopeful that Parker will be able to solve his problem, he is nervous to speak to him as it has been a couple of years since they had any real conversation.
How you been, bud?
Good, how are you?
Good to see you, man.
Good to see you too. So you're back.
I'm back.
How are you feeling?
I feel great.
Good.
Yeah.
Rick doesn't know what to expect, but thinks that they'll be able to make a deal. Parker and Rick have a history as deep as any mining operation, having met when Parker hired Rick when he was 17 years old and just starting his career in the gold mining industry. At the time, Parker wasn't the big shot buying multiple million-dollar mines. He had just a small gold claim to his name. However, these early days are critical to the man he would become, and Rick was a crucial component to his success. Rick and Parker worked together and created a deep bond as they rose in experience and achievement those first few years. Rick Ness eventually became Parker's foreman, but not everything was smooth sailing. When their relationship started to get rocky, they said things to each other they couldn't take back. This was a huge turning point for Rick Ness, because he decided that what he really wanted was to strike out on his own. Rick informed Parker that he had received a great opportunity to be his own boss, and he was going to take it, quitting his position as foreman for Parker's crew. It was a difficult parting, and since then, they haven't spoken face to face until today. Rick expresses his excitement to see his old friend again and hopes that Parker will feel the same.
Can you believe that?
How much does that weigh?
That one is 1.54 ounces.
Oh my Lord.
Yeah. Wow.
There is also the issue of Rick's break from gold mining last year, which he is sure Parker already knows about. He wonders if those rumors will change the reception he gets from his old boss. Parker comes down from his loader and immediately makes a joke as he greets Rick. Rick picks up the joke and they share a big laugh, breaking the tension immediately. It feels as though no time has passed at all as they hug. Parker immediately asks how Rick is feeling now that he's back, showing his concern for his health. In a kind move, Parker tells him that he has always had faith that he would survive the hard times and come right back to the business when he was ready. Rick is vulnerable as he admits that he has struggled recently and that looking back, he thinks his best years were with Parker, as he was more productive back then. Parker admits that when he first started as a gold miner with his own claim, he had no idea what he was doing. They bond over how lost they had been at the beginning and how their golden years were spent together. Rick admits that he learned a lot from his time with Parker and that he feels like he's reclaiming some of that youthful energy they had back then, now that he is back and ready to work. Finally, after their sentimental reunion, Parker asks whether Rick has made his way over to catch up, or if there is something he needs. Rick immediately admits that, of course, he comes all this way because he needs something, and prepares to ask for this big favor. Rick tells him that he needs a loader, and Parker immediately tells him that his team inherited a ton of equipment and guides him over to his truck to take a look at all the equipment. When Parker Schnabel bought the Dominion Creek claim, he also purchased everything that was on it. So any tools and machines left behind were included in the purchase.
Okay, sounds good.
We're gonna put Brennan on that end with the 750. I'm gonna keep chewing away down here with the 480, but I got a feeling he's gonna be catching on me pretty fast.
Parker admits that after buying it, he has not even inspected or cataloged everything that came with it. However, the purchase did include $2 million worth of equipment. Rick hops onto the loader on Dominion Creek and starts it up to test its functionality. The sound of the motor passes their quick inspection, and Rick tries to cut a deal right away for the use of the loader. Parker tells him that there will be no deal. Instead, he tells Rick that he hates talking about money, but he especially hates it when it comes to friends. He tells Rick that he can use it, no deal or money exchange is needed. He instead tells him that they can just work it out in the fall. He elaborates that if Rick hits the mother lode, then he will expect a few ounces of gold as rent, but otherwise they're all good. What Parker says is that if the loader helps him, he's happy to lend it. What he truly wants is for Rick to get back on his feet. This is a very humbling moment for Rick, as he realizes that Parker is a true friend to him, even after all their differences. Parker admits that it is a small gesture, but that he hopes it's better than denying him and not mending bridges out of pettiness. Rick is very thankful to him, and Parker suggests that he comes to pick up the loader when the roads clear up a bit. The difficulty of moving the loader may even necessitate bringing a trailer out to move it, but no one is willing to haul such heavy equipment at this time in the season. The problem of transporting the loader over to Rick's claim is overshadowed by the emotional reunion between the two old friends. When Parker is finally alone, he admits that he was surprised to see Rick again, since they have a lot of unspoken history between them. One thing that he is ruminating over is how Rick mentioned that he gave Parker his best years. To Parker, that sounds like crazy talk, because in his mind, Rick Ness has not even reached his best years in the gold mining industry yet. In Parker's eyes, Rick is still very young, only 42 years old. But he understands that perhaps mentally and emotionally the past few years,
we got to keep the ball rolling, so whatever we got to do, right?
Yeah. The reward there is hopefully 30 feet of pay underneath that, right? And good stuff.
have taken a heavy toll on his old friend. He wishes that things would get better for Rick, and that his small favor will be a step in that direction. Thank you so much for watching this video until the end. Make sure to like and subscribe, and don't forget to turn on notifications for the latest, most interesting Gold Rush content. Leave a comment down below and let us know what your favorite part was and what kind of content you'd like to see on the channel next.